I'm Slattery, and I'm delighted to be joined in studio for our rugby extravaganza today by Bernard Jackman and Cian Tracey. Lads, how are you?
Good, thanks. Just watching the warm-up there, Tupolatu and Suoli featuring heavily, and I can't wait to see those two go bang each other.
Yeah, a bit of verbals back in November. Cian, are you excited? You know, has the Lions enthusiasm, have you got swept up into that?
Yeah, I was saying this to you before we started that I'm really glad we had the game in Dublin, because I've never been lucky enough to be on a Lions tour, so it's hard to imagine what it's like. You're kind of watching it through the prism of clips on Twitter and whatnot, but I think we saw, you know, a taste of what it was like in Dublin. I thought the atmosphere was incredible that night. God, it feels like a bloody long time ago at this stage, but just watching a few clips that the Lions put up, the thousands of people that are over there, it's hard not to be swept up, even though we are kind of far removed here from it. So yeah, I'm excited.
It feels like now it's finally caught up with that night in Dublin, which was such a great way to start off the tour. Obviously the warm-up games are a slow build on the pitch, and the fans kind of coming over in dribs and drabs, as you can see on some of the footage we're seeing now, that it really does seem like it's reaching fever pitch. Just some housekeeping for how today's going to go. We're going to be with you pre-match up until kickoff, and then we're going to be giving you minute-by-minute reaction analysis, reacting just as we would, maybe with less swearing, I would say, if we were watching it with no cameras around. We'll be giving you the halftime analysis, all the big talking points covered off, and then after the game we will have an immediate debrief. We'll be joined by our colleague Rory O'Connor, who's over in Brisbane for the first test, so we've all that to look forward to over the next while. And just before we kick off, a reminder that our rugby coverage on Indo Sport is brought to you by Energia. Energia sponsors rugby in Ireland at all levels, at grassroots with the Energia AIL, and as the official energy partner to Leinster, Connacht and the Irish men's and women's teams. The Energia Rugby for All initiative supports inclusion, welcoming everyone of all abilities to participate in the game. To learn more about Energia's rugby partnerships and find out about their exclusive home energy offer for rugby fans, you can visit energia.ie/rugby. So that's the formalities out of the way, lads. We can really dig into some of the talking points. Brendan, I guess the test team is obviously always something we're fascinated by. It's kind of the really thing keeping you engaged when some of these matches are a bit of a turkey shoot. What did you make of the first selection, in particular the back row? I think a lot of people were focusing in on Tyburn and Tom Curry, two guys who haven't, I would say, been at their best. But Andy Farrell clearly earmarked them before a ball was even kicked as two guys he wanted in there. A little bit of a risk, or do you think that's the right call?
I know, I don't think it's a risk. I think, obviously, the position that there's most depth in is open side. But I think Tom Curry is a top operator. He hasn't been outstanding on this tour, but of all coaches that I've analysed or looked at, Farrell is someone who backs his gut more than anyone and really rates kind of past performances. And you know, Tom Curry's played in the World Cup final. Tom Curry's been consistently a top operator, like one of the best rugby players in the world, but maybe not as flashy as a Pollock or be as consistent at the breakdown as a Jack Morgan on this tour. But I think he trusts him. He's big, powerful, and he'll do a good job. There's no doubt there. I think the interesting one is, I think he only went into this tour without proper balance in the back row, and hence we're having a debate about Byrne or Chesham at 6, when I would say neither of them are world-class sixes yet or anymore. Like obviously Byrne's a world-class player, but I think his best position is second row now. But because the line-out's been struggling during the tour, I think they've gone for that safety blanket of having a lock at 6. And interestingly, probably the biggest fear for them, and what Joe Schmidt would be targeting, is the breakdown. And then have they got enough legs in that back row to win that breakdown battle? You know, would they be better off probably giving away a little bit of line-out power to have, you know, a Morgan or a Ben Earl in that back row as well?
Australia, like Harry Wilson and Fraser McRoy, like Harry Wilson's playing 8, but he's kind of more of a 7 as well, or certainly his strength is on the ground. So like that's an interesting dynamic going up with the two different back rows.
Yeah, and I do think though that Tyburn was always going to feature, because I totally agree with you.
Test match animal.
Exactly, and like we've seen this so many times over the years from Ireland. Like a lot of supporters get frustrated sometimes with the way Andy Farrell picks, but more times than not he's proven correct, because he knows that the guys can deliver on the big stage. The fact that Tyburn is playing 6, I think, is what a show of faith it is in Joe McCarthy. I think it kind of got glossed over when the team got named on Thursday, because I don't think Joe McCarthy would have been in a lot of people's teams this time last year. I think a lot of people would have said Tyburn and Maro Itoje looked like a really good second row partnership, but Joe McCarthy's been probably one of the best players on tour. He is the youngest player to 23. Starting tonight, yeah, just shy of Ollie Chesham and Tommy Freeman. They were all born in the same year, but he is the youngest. He's actually the 3rd youngest in the overall squad as well. So like that's a big show of faith behind Henry Pollock and Finn Smith. So I think McCarthy has been brilliant, and the fact that Andy Farrell is pushing Tyburn into 6, because I would agree, I'm not sure it's his best position anymore. You go back, it was at the last game I think he played there was against Australia in November. He's been brilliant for Munster and Ireland in the second row. So I think that's as much about how well Joe Joe McCarthy's been playing.
It was funny because he started against the All Blacks, Argentina and Australia at 6 November, which like that, and that was not a good November for Ireland. So it's funny, and he started the last test in South Africa last summer as well. It's funny that he went back to it. But you're so right about Joe McCarthy, Bernard, because if you're looking at guys on the team sheet here who maybe came a bit of bolters for the test team, it's probably Ellis Genge and Joe McCarthy, maybe two of the more unlikely selections from the start, and they both made really big first impressions. Ellis Genge in Dublin and Joe McCarthy against the Western Force, and they probably haven't been quite as hitting that heights, but it shows the value in a Lions tour when they're playing every couple of days and they're moving around a lot. If you can make a real striking first impression, it's hard to get out and be dislodged from the team.
Yeah, and Genge did, as you say, against Argentina with some big carries, and I think we've seen the Lions play a lot of wide on this tour, and I think Farrell has been stressing the need to be more direct, and particularly with the way Russell plays and how he brings forwards into the game off an edge. I think having the power of Genge is massive, but also I think as a character. I think this Lions squad maybe lacking a little bit of character, and Genge is that.
That's why on Farrell maybe.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. There's no doubt that's been part of the reason why he's go over there. So because of his leadership quality, obviously he's captained his club team, he's captained England. I think Farrell straight away said, right, his form is better than Andrew Porter. He's more dynamic. I want him in. And likewise with McCarthy, once he played that game against the Force and he showed a bit of, I suppose, power and explosiveness, it seemed like he was locked in. And James Ryan never really got a chance. You know what I mean? Never really got
knock
proper
after the URC final, I think, really held him back. It feels like his tour hasn't really got going, Rick, which is unfortunate. But I think you're so right, Bernard, about Genge, because I think one of the biggest things I've taken from, if anyone's been watching the behind the scenes clips, is how much of a leader that Genge has been. And you go back to the Argentina game as well, that he's been acting like he's been a veteran Lions tourist, really, which is a brilliant thing, and I think that probably worked in his favour as well. But overall, it looks like a pack that's been picked to brutally bully, I think, Australia. You look at, obviously, the players that they're missing.
We're looking at a guy on the screen here, Maro Itoje, Lions captain, who once Caelan Doris went down, felt like the obvious choice, in some ways the only choice, which maybe doesn't speak that strongly about the overall leaders that were emerging at that juncture. You mentioned the behind the scenes clips there, Keane. I have been struck by, he's not the most authoritative speaker, and we're raised on Lions lore of Paul O'Connell, Brian O'Driscoll, even Sam Warburton, who we were talking off air, is he a legend of the Lions for on pitch, but he's a good articulate speaker. What do you make of Itoje as a captain figure, Bernard? Like, is he ticking all the boxes for you?
Look, I've been doing a good bit of stuff in the UK recently, and players who've played with him, played against him, players who understand him say he's an amazing player. Like, there's no doubt he's a world-class player, but certainly he isn't that captain of of folklore where he gives inspiration speeches, he brings people with him. In actual fact, I think there was, when Caelan Doris got injured, there might have been Maro wasn't the next obvious cab up from a coaching point of view. I think they even looked at Dan Sheehan, which would have been some call. I mean, imagine the English media if Dan Sheehan was made Lions captain for the tour when he hasn't really captained. He captained Leinster in a game or two.
Ireland and Cardiff, didn't he?
Then Ireland and Cardiff, yeah. So, but he's not, like, it would have been, the safe call was to make Maro captain and then put people around him, the likes of Genge, the likes of Bundy Aki, etc., who can have an influence and drive the team forward.
I think the big thing about Itoje is that he's only become England captain lately, and there would have been a big call over the years, and coaches never picked him as captain.
Yeah. And remember Eddie Jones famously said, "Oh, he's not a captain. He's not a leader.
Honestly,
he's a great player." But and, like, at the time, people were like, "This Eddie being Eddie, how dare you?" But now having seen a few behind the scenes clips, because he's a phenomenal player and is playing great rugby, but it's interesting. It doesn't, like, you think of a second row, you almost think, they have to be a great captain.
Yeah, and also look at the problem was there's not a huge amount of people on his tour who have massive Lions experience. So he's a third series Lions player, obviously always guaranteed to start. But I think that, I don't necessarily mean that means he should be captain. I just think we need to talk about Australia here. Like, I rate Joe Schmidt massively, right?
Yep.
But like, when you look at his team and you look, it's hard to say, Jesus, they've had 2 years to prep for this. They're kind of going in, obviously they had an injury at 10, but they're going in without Will Skelton. Tupu has been disillusioned. They're scratching around for 6.
A huge loss.
Palatini's a huge loss. That's an injury, but realistically, unless Joe, this is the greatest ambush of all time, if he's hidden the whole plan so well, played average against
We're all
Fiji.
hoping he has.
Yeah, I hope he has. I hope
the series.
I hope they go out and have a cut off them. Yeah. But it's just so unlike Joe, because normally you can see Joe's ambush coming. It's not an ambush. You can see his plan coming to fruition, piece by piece. Whereas this is going to be just.
Well, they've only had one game. Like, that's why we go back. I'm surprised that he didn't organise a second warm-up game.
But because he's had time to organise it, this is obviously what he wanted.
Yeah.
But again, it is surprising to us. But he's starved these players of opportunities to play against the Lions in the friendlies. What have been doing in camp, and have they been able to get themselves ready to win a first test?
I've been thinking about this all week. Has there ever been a test match where the coach is the most central figure? Because if I'm looking at this Wallabies 23 and it's not Joe Schmidt in charge, I'm thinking, God, they've got no chance here. But because it's Joe, I'm fully expecting him to have something up his sleeve. I don't know if there's ever been so much weight put on a head coach who's not obviously playing.
We saw, I know the All Blacks in 2023 and 2022 were not obviously a good bit stronger than this team, but they were at a seriously low ebb when he came in. And come World Cup time, by that time, the quarterfinal, his fingerprints were everywhere. Like, he coached that team up and brought them back to the All Blacks teams they were previously, to the fact they were a kick of a ball away from winning the World Cup. So if there's one coach in the world, if he said, who could take this Australia team, get them to a level to make this competitive, I think it would be Schmidt.
Yeah, and he did in November. So I would have said they left Europe in November going, geez, that was actually exactly what we needed. It's literally just we haven't seen a huge amount of them since. And then the Fiji game, they were quite clutchy and scratchy. So, but again, these guys, the legacy these fellas have is they can actually potentially save Australian rugby. That sounds like a bit of an exaggeration. Australian rugby's on its knees. A good Lions series will give them some boost for the World Cup, and then obviously they can go toe-to-toe in that battle with the NRL and Aussie rules, etc. But at the moment, they need this team. And these players, it's a big pressure on their shoulders because there's not a huge amount of experience. Obviously Slipper and stuff there is, but overall, that's effectively the challenge they have.
I was going to say that, like, that's the glass half full approach, but the glass half empty is that if this is a whitewash, Joe's leaving, obviously Les Kiss is going to take over. That's going to be a rebuild. 2 years out from the World Cup, it's going to be over there. For so many reasons, I'm not saying you want the Wallabies to win the series, but you want it to be competitive with the bigger picture in mind, because the World Cup's going to be great either way, but it'll be even better if the locals are fully buying into it. And I think one of the best ways to do that is by a at least successful Lions series.
Even the succession plan is kind of strange. He was meant to be leaving after the Lions, then after the Rugby Championship, then November. Now he's going all the way in doing next year's summer tour, the new Rugby Nations Cup, whatever it's called. And so Les Kiss is only going to get one November and one truncated Rugby Championship. What
are the chances of Joe still being there?
Like, if he can go to 2026, it's like, oh, would you not just do one more year?
Yeah, I think if they have a good series, he'd be tempted to stay on.
I think Les Kiss has been announced.
I know, but as
they're very close.
Very close. As a mentor consultant, like Les Kiss,
they'd work it out, I think.
Yeah, Les Kiss wouldn't want to not have Joe if he proves his value here. But this is the Wallabies' best chance. I know they could have Skelton back next week, etc. But this is their best chance to catch the Lions cold. The Lions haven't had a proper test since Dublin.
Yeah. So we're watching the anthem, only one. Did they sing the Power of Four? We did the Clive Woodward 2005 anthem out here. So yeah, there'll be good atmosphere in Suncorp. Like, Suncorp, Brisbane always looks like one of the better atmospheres in Australian rugby.
The scenes, like I said from this morning, from what I've seen, look amazing. And look, it's easy to be kind of negative about the Lions, but we got a taste of it in Dublin. And I've had an unusual experience of kind of following it from afar because I've been in Georgia and Portugal. So I've watched the last 3 games in bars in Tbilisi and Lisbon, and they were chock-a-block full of fans who were just mad for the Lions. So while I said it's easy to be kind of negative, like, people love this stuff. The amount of money that people have paid to go over.
But, like, you were in Tbilisi and was watching Lions. I was in Westmeath last weekend. The pub wouldn't show it. Like what's the hell?
We in Lisbon last weekend. The pub opened at 11 o'clock. Yeah. Obviously, the game was kicking off at 11 o'clock. There was a queue of Irish lads out the door. The barman arrived to open up, and he said, lads, I can only open up if you give me a hand to set up the pub. So in the Irish lads go, taking the chairs off the tables and getting it set up. So, like I said, it's easy to be negative, but the Lions is a big deal. But I agree with you, Birch. Like, this is the Wallabies' big chance, even allowing for the players that they're missing, because you'd imagine the Lions are going to get better as well the more games that they have.
Just one reminder that I forgot to mention before we start, please send in any comments or questions for the guys on YouTube and I'll get to them. One comment, actually, it's funny, just before it kicks off, I really feel sorry for Caelan Doris from CB on YouTube. Like, if he's watching this game, that could have been him captaining the team. It could have been him running out.
Made for life as well. Lions captain.
Must have been a tough summer for him. I don't know what he's been up to, but
but I think of all the players that I know, he's probably one of the most relaxed. He's someone who's able to have perspective. You know, obviously it's going to be hard for him, but I don't think he's totally obsessed by the game. And he's other people around him.
His parents are psychotherapists. I mean, I'd imagine I do agree with
you. They just have 2 long couches in the sitting room and they can lie down on. So game's starting now. So this is where we go into, I suppose, watch-along mode and transition out of kind of punditry mode. So I suppose we're just going to be watching it, saying what we think. So Yeah, that's
Big one is Ben O'Keefe, the referee. He whistled the Lions off the park.
Yeah.
You know, Kiwi ref Joe Schmidt will know kind of his.
Piardi next week as well.
Yeah, with Dominic.
How is he getting a Lions test? Yeah. He's been at the centre of like 3 or 4 huge blunders this year. Like,
it just shows you the lack of depth in refereeing.
Yeah,
Piardi's bang average, but
is there no French? Have the French receded? Like, you know, Brousset is brutal.
They're all taking up jobs.
Coaching,
the coaching,
more money in coaching than refereeing.
Yeah. And to be fair, I like Amusha Kelly. I don't know what you guys think of him.
He's one of the best.
I feel like
I like him too. Yeah.
And he has this ability where if he's involved in a game, it's like remember Nigel Owens, his games as he used to have taken a live of their own. I feel like he's kind of doing that.
And like Ben O'Keefe whistled Tyke Byrne, I'm pretty sure a couple of times.
He did, yeah.
So like that's.
Yeah, they were fairly blatant.
But it's going to be big, like because we've already discussed that the Wallabies are going to go after the Lions on the deck with Fraser McWright. So that's going to be a key area to how Ben O'Keefe sees the breakdown.
I was just thinking on the way in, if you won the toss, it was if I was the Lions, I'd take the kickoff.
Take it?
I'd kick it off.
Oh, they are.
As I'm sure Schmidt has talked about that opportunity, that first kickoff to get Sully, one-on-one with somebody, and I think they are going to kick.
The Lions' kickoffs receipts have been shocking.
Yeah, but that's just. I think he's got better, but he obviously he's a world class in that.
Isn't he? Freakish athlete. I was watching him before the game doing his usual thing, walking around the pitch in his bare feet. The hopes of a nation resting on this guy, really, don't they?
That's what he was signed for.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You know, the Australian Rugby Union are broke, and they signed Sue Lee to make him competitive.
Sue Lee and Eddie Jones, that was the dream partnership coming in.
The Lions went contestable too.
So what are we expecting to see from Australia early, George Bernard, do you think?
Massive amount of kicking. They're playing here in their half, but they're only going across to the 50-metre line, I reckon, to the box kick. They'll go one more phase.
There'll be a penalty there. So
that's Curry, is it?
No, Tyke Byrne.
Tyke Byrne, the blue scrum cap.
And that kind of sets the tone.
Vindication. He's already shut me up because I was crowing about that 6 and 7 selection.
30 seconds in and you win a breakdown penalty. I've literally just said it'll depend on how Ben O'Keefe sees it. That's huge.
Now, is this when Jack Conan goes to the corner? That's what he usually does, isn't it? And this is
no,
you've got to take the points.
Arrow's taking points.
Yeah. Got to take the points.
What a start, though.
That's brilliant.
And not only the points, but as you say, that talking point pre-match about the selection, there's a region.
Painting the right pictures and all that.
Yeah, but just tactically, so from the kickoff, they kick it quite shallow, and all Australia had to do was play one face to the right to go to the 15 to be able to box kick, but they went to go to the left, played 2 shit phases, average phases across, and just going, they're on the back foot, not getting any momentum to carries, and someone like Tyke Byrne will just go and attack that.
It's great for Tyke Byrne as settler as well, because it's been a tough tour for him. Easy for Finn. 3-0.
Yeah.
That's not the start the Wallabies wanted in so many ways.
And from a Schmidt team as well, giving away a breakdown penalty in your own territory after the kickoff,
Here we go, this is it now.
Yeah.
So Ely up in the air.
In Twickenham in particular, he was phenomenal in this.
We didn't really touch on Tom Lynagh. What a big start for him.
Oh, he's kicked long.
Jesus, surprised with that now.
Yeah.
In fairness, I think if you just conceded 3, you maybe say, right, just we'll go back to the short one.
Don't want to risk it in case Lions are on the attack again. Yeah.
So actually, the Lions are about exit here. They've been actually kicking it off quite a lot. So long and off. So that will give Australia line-out opportunities, which they haven't kicked it off this time, because I think if you're playing Joe Schmidt's teams, you don't want to give them line-outs in that area.
Yeah,
you should keep it on.
He's a super player, Tom Wright, isn't he?
He's class. He actually is one of their few, I'd say, really, really world-class operators.
Good hit by Tyke Byrne.
And Furlong's been good, hasn't he, lads, on the tour?
Oh.
Line early on, getting a go.
Ikitau. In fairness to them, they have athletes with the likes of Ikitau and Wright. If they can get any
Jorgensen out wide is dangerous.
Very dangerous. He's brilliant against England.
Harry Potter, though, starting for the Wallabies is strange to me. Lynagh.
Good read.
Did well,
yeah. He kept flying off his wing, shut down.
You go through Hugh Jones and Dan Sheehan, was it?
Yeah.
And their little tip-on pass, they're working. They're making inroads.
Joe McCarthy's made about 3 or 4 tackles already. Better from Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that was a good pass to play. So Jorgensen and Lowe.
Oh.
Just about.
Oh. It's a good start from Tom Lynagh, though. A couple of nice touches, I thought.
Yeah.
He's actually a very good kicker.
Apple doesn't fall first.
No, what his father, what a legend.
And it's funny because he born in England, goes to Australia, like he is English.
Yeah, he was in the Harlequins Academy.
Yeah.
And
then
obviously
his brother playing for Italy
Yeah.
via Queens as well.
Yeah.
Like it's
he decided he wanted to go back and be a Wallaby.
Yeah.
Because he was in the English system.
But I did think people were making out like Lola Sio was a humongous loss. I don't think I think he's an average enough 10. Like
Purely because of he has been their 10, I think. I agree with you, but
Let's go by
I don't think it's ideal to have Tom Lynagh making his first Test start in the first.
I actually think going to O'Connor wouldn't have been the worst idea. He's been decent for the Crusaders this year.
Yeah.
50-22.
There's no...
50-22.
Oh, Harry Potter. No magic there.
I was like, don't say it.
He's gone. Oh, we got it. There's a Keenan trying to take the quick one.
Freeman, I think.
Bad error, though. Like, you know.
Oh, no, Piardi's given the line to...
Did someone touch it when it went over, maybe?
Didn't think so.
They haven't had a lot of success at the mall. Like, you know, they haven't had a dominant mall in any of the matches, really.
You'd have to think that they'll try and use that as a weapon.
That was a terrible pass. Freeman to Gibson Park.
So, are you expecting to keep this in the mall here?
Yeah.
Or kind of peel off?
Well, they've picked a mauling pack, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if they didn't.
It's hard. The true to the front, it's quite hard to get a good maul off the front. They probably have to play off this, use Tupolatu.
Who needs to be more direct today, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Don't think he's going to... Oh, he does. He plays. That's nice.
Good carry.
Poor miss by Sueli.
Yeah.
Like, that's an extra 10 metres.
Yeah.
Great carry.
Oh.
They're into their shape here now.
Massive bit of defence here for Australia. If they
concede a try here.
They're goosed.
That's a penalty.
Oh, it looked like a penalty
That's
to
a
me.
penalty.
Oh, the other way.
And McGrath, yeah.
Fraser
Fraser McGrath got in over the ball.
Looked like he was in at the side.
Yeah, looked in and around the ball, but we'll see the replay here.
That's a big defensive step because
huge,
the Lions were on the front foot after that Freeman carry.
It was great carry, wasn't
Furlong
it?
had a good carry as well there.
Penalty each at the breakdown.
Yeah, I want to see the replay of this one though. Like, not to be like some sort of partisan Lions shill, but I did think it looked a little.
The only thing is he was communicating with Ben O'Keefe all the way through it.
Yeah.
He tends to do that actually.
Good, yeah.
Very good. I don't know how he does it, putting your body in that jackal position.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to the ref.
Okay, so
Oh. He's
He kind of starts in the gate and gets shoved around.
I think he's lucky.
Oh, that's a shocking pass. Oh, that was, gives it right back. Like,
Again, this stuff.
and that's basics. Like, there's been a few basic. Yeah, Joe. Like Harry Potter's fumble, that pass. That's something Van der Fleer is very good at, peeling off mauls.
yeah, being
giving,
accurate.
giving nice little passes. I think he's very unlucky not to be anywhere near the team this week.
Yeah,
There's a lot of options to be
played
fair.
well, but I think they just feel if you're going to bully Australia, Curry is a little bit more muscle.
Interesting conversation for Andy Farrell, though, isn't it? Like someone like Josh Van der Fleer, who is your automatic pick for 7, and then you come to the Lions. And look, I'd say Josh, we spoke about Caelan Doris. Josh is like the utmost professional. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine, but I'd be fairly obviously annoyed if my head coach, and he's played well on this tour, because like we said, Curry is a bit of a reputation pick, isn't he? But I agree, it's picks to do the physical damage that maybe
He's
Josh.
a big man.
So free kick off the scrum for early push. Lions go quick. 40 yards out in Australian half. Oh, that's a nice play by Furlong. Oh, it's good.
Oh, brilliant, Russell. Sheehan. That was lovely by Russell, to be very lovely with the hands.
Tyg Furlong back in his playmaking best.
And staying on his feet.
Yeah.
Good clear out as well, low and Furlong.
Play there. Advantage.
Yeah.
So you have a 3 points guaranteed.
I'll go 4 up by low.
Oh,
Oh,
an
man.
offload.
No, he's
One
just
more recycle.
Oh, he got
Oh, nice Furlong. Great hands.
No.
Oh.
That was a nice try.
Great try.
Tupolev back in Australia.
Great try.
But the build-up play there, so that was off a free kick.
Yeah.
And within one phase, Tupolev carry, they got the perfect shape of Furlong with Finn Russell out the back, good decoy lines. He gets his hands free, puts Dan Sheehan through, and then you just had the variety. I mean, even that pass from Furlong, but later on.
Little bit of luck from low in the build-up, but the ball kind of pops back.
Yeah, but Genge picks it up off his toes.
Yeah, and Genge was very well to pick it up.
Yeah. This pass, I know he had advantage from Finn Russell.
The ball from low kind of pops out.
But so basically Russell comes back and he does the old dummy to crossfield kick. That just brings the defence in a little bit more. See it here.
How many players did he take out?
And then he throws
1, 2, 3, 4 players.
Lovely pass.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You mentioned it there, but you wouldn't underestimate Furlong as a tight head prop having the ability to catch and give that ball. Like not most tight heads wouldn't be able to do that. They would just probably chuck it up, having gotten a surprise pass from Gibson Park.
Look, I spoke to John Fogarty about Furlong before, and he said he just needs games. And like he hasn't had a huge amount of rugby over the last year and a half. His form hasn't been brilliant, but he's just got enough game time over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Obviously, this is like mentally as well. This is a challenge that he will revel in. Like he's had so much rugby, so many big days, and it's great to see him back in form.
Because there was talk after that Leinster Bulls game, when he didn't play in it.
That's right. Would he play?
Was he minded himself? And to be fair, he does look sharp now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looked very good.
That's the worst possible start for Australia. Like to say the least, obviously, but it's also like an error-strewn start.
Yeah.
Like now you're thinking, what's this going to look like at half time?
They need to just
But it comes from an Australian line out where they run a disastrous set piece play, then a scrum where they give lines a free kick, for an early push. They're giving lines to
Hugo.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what he's picked for.
Jeez, he had a rough time of it, didn't he?
Yeah, just the headline alone.
Yeah.
I couldn't get off the jacks. It's like, geez, you need to put that in the headline. Like.
Before that piece had been released, when I was watching the game last week, I was watching with John O'Sullivan from the Irish Times over in Lisbon. I was like, Hugh Keenan looks very skinny. The jersey was hanging off him, and you could really see the effects that it had.
Oh, this is cleaning them out in the air.
It's a disaster for the Wallabies.
Oh.
The Wallabies have to get aerial dominance if they're going to be competitive, and the Lions have won the first 4, and now they're back into 22 again.
And won them with authority, like, they're getting clean hands, pushing it back, like, it's not particularly scrappy even.
No. And obviously, when you can't escort now, it's harder to get those clean catches.
Yeah. Oh, scrappy again.
Good pressure from the Lions.
Yeah, just make them exit and go again from about 10 metres, 10 metre line.
Said Wallabies just try and get this off. Yeah, they just need to find a way into the game.
What are they thinking to regroup here now? 10-0 down, 10 minutes in.
Get it? Like, obviously, look at Joe Schmidt's game plan is built around a lot of kicking. They obviously aren't getting any returns out of that. But now they need to go to something that's going to get them on the front foot. And traditionally, it's been Joe Schmidt power play off a line out, normally 4 or 5 men. But they need to get a line out around the halfway line. Unfortunately for the Wallabies now, this is a Lions throw, and they're going to get a chance to go launch something. You use Conan up the middle, 2-sided attack. I think I was going to kick this. Yeah, box kick down the middle of the field with Freeman chasing 1-on-1. Oh, and he's unlucky there. He knocks it on the air.
It's a great kick, Gibson Park, wasn't it?
Referee missed it.
It was super hang time on that kick from Gibson Park. Underrated skill of his, because we always speak about the tempo, the speed, his pass, but his kicking.
Yeah. But that's
to rate a few comments there, lads. Yeah, Doug saying Ty Burners everywhere. Yeah, unbelievable start. PJ saying, not saying Van der Fleer was robbed, but in the same period that everyone is saying Curry was unbelievable, Van der Fleer won World Player of the Year and was Autumn Series Player of the Year in 2023. Yeah, I agree. I thought Van der Fleer was hard done by. So a few people coming in. Yeah, keep your comments coming. I'll try to get to a few. Someone's going to say something there. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, just that play that the Lions played is such a Joe Schmidt play where you just bang it up off a short line into the middle and then box kick from a midfield ruck with a shooter. It's so hard for the players in the backfield to deal with that. And in fairness to Freeman, he probably feel he could have won that in the air.
Do you think that's a bit of mind games from the Lions, Farrell and Andrew?
Yeah, 100%.
Joe, bit of throw a bit of his plays at him.
Like, why not? And also, it's a really good play. You know what I mean? So who designed it? Who cares? Just execute it.
Lions scrum has been very good. What are we expecting? So a free kick each now.
Yeah, there's no actual scrum yet.
Like, you'd expect the Lions to have the edge there, would you?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about Bell being on the bench? What's the thing?
I think it's to try and give him a bit of carry in the second half. I think
the game could be over.
No, I agree. And like even Joe Schmidt's comments about if this was the third test, Skelton could have played.
Yeah.
Like I think
this is their third test. You know what I mean? Like you win, no use having them for test.
You try and win the first one, and you worry about who's.
That could have been maybe what he was saying in the media.
But Joe Schmidt also said Lalacio took a knock, and he's now has neck surgery. You know, Schmidt says a lot of things about injuries. Like,
I was very surprised. Obviously, Ulster fans looking forward to seeing Angus Bell as well.
Yeah, so that's a chance. So basically, what's happened is James Lowe's kicked that dead. Lions trying to bring his left foot in off open play. He's kicked it dead. So now the Wallabies have a set piece in the.
It's coming halfway,
Halfway. But again,
perfect attacking opportunity.
You got to launch something here.
Yeah.
Been a bit of a mixed tour for James Lowe so far.
Again, another guy who had an unbelievable first impression, and it's probably he was going to be since Duhan was so bad at the start and Lowe was so good.
And his left foot is so
that was done. I think
his left foot is usually so important.
Like Van der Merwe's game in Dublin was a complete.
Like I think in hindsight, Van der Merwe, I think. Darcy Graham would have been a better option, particularly the way Farrell's teams play. Like Duhan is brilliant north-south with the ball, but he's
not your Messi coming off your wing.
No. He's so poor when the ball's behind him as well.
They were it's one of those guys, he could not pick him. You know,
100%.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys who's almost too established.
He's a perfect dirt tracker, to be fair.
He is.
Because he's scored loads.
He should have been a dirt tracker in 2021, but he's a real Gatlin-style wing, like, you know.
Okay, here's the first scrum. It's going to be completed. Lions putting pressure on, but the Wallabies try a little reverse play, crossfield kick. Well read by Hugo Keane.
No. Keenan spills it though.
Yeah, so just on that there for the viewers, the Wallabies dummy to go right, which would have brought Keenan across, and his ability to track and get back to the right hand side is phenomenal here. So he would have been heading the wrong direction, and they go for that crossfield kick, but he just covers so much ground. That's a poor kick. It gives him a chance.
I know they have a scrum actually. It's worked out okay.
It's worked out okay for them, but.
Keenan is such a good sweeper fullback.
You speak about like underrated roles, like that's something that the cameras don't often pick up. It's when you're in the stadium live, you get to see. Like Rob Kearney was obviously brilliant in that pendulum role as well, but Keenan, like, sometimes plays the game like a step ahead, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And Bernard, like, would Keenan be a good bit better at that part of the game?
I think Kinghorn's got maybe more out now pace.
Yeah, definitely.
Better, but like what Hugo's very good at is obviously he's unbelievably fit, but he reads body language.
Yeah.
Just a second earlier than most players, so he was already on his way over there, whereas Kinghorn I think maybe will be planted on his feet for a second.
Joe have something up his sleeve here if they.
That's good solid scrum by Australia. Let's just go direct with Ikatau, gets into Finn Russell and Gibson Park.
Good carry.
Yeah, very good carry.
He's going to Exeter at the end of the year.
Yeah, he'll be gone.
So it's like, doesn't bode well that one of your starters in the Lions series is going to Exeter. It's not even if he's going to one of the big teams. This is an important, even get 3 points.
Yeah, massively. I think they'll just do what Joe Schmidt's team do, which is just one out carry, they're playing at the back, but generally be really direct here and patient and try and get a penalty advantage and then do something.
Let's keep an eye on the blue scrum hat if he's lurking.
He's there now.
Yeah.
Big hit.
Curry Curry absolutely emptied McRoy there.
This is better from Australia.
Yeah.
Byrne and getting
big hit.
Their defence has been good.
Yeah, Byrne and Curry, to be fair, have been very busy.
Across the course of the tour, though, for Simon Easterby, I think that the Lions' defence is.
That's a good tackle by McCarthy and Tozy, just slowing that ball up, creating a little mini maul.
And you're thinking, where are Australia getting a breakthrough here? You know, it's like.
And this is energy sapping as well.
Yeah.
But I think this is the thing about the Lions' defence. Once it goes past 3 phases in this tour, they look really comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking here, there's no space, but I think the Wallabies are just looking for a penalty. Burns on that, is he? He survived it. Yeah, turnover.
Ty Byrne, another turnover,
brilliant.
2 turnovers for Ty Byrne now.
Outstanding. Test match animal, Will.
Yeah. Test match animal, for sure.
What a kick that is as well.
We have people watching from the Cayman Islands. We have people watching from At the Boy and Mead. Not exactly the same, but it's still good to have a cross section of viewers. That's a huge turnover, though. You know, not that Australia were going anywhere, but just
no. But they had field position.
Yeah,
it's the psychological win as well. That, you know, Australia first sustained period of pressure, and Ty Byrne turns it over.
And you know what about Byrne and Curry? Reminded me. You remember the story when Ireland played in Chicago in 2016, and Schmidt picked Carney and went to him before the game. Was like, "We need one from you today." I feel like that's what Afal was saying to Ty Byrne. Like, I'm picking you, but I need one from you today.
That's a good line of throw by Dan Sheehan to Toji at the back. Use Cohn to carry up the middle.
They've used him twice now like that, haven't they?
Oh, that's a nice play. Oh. Going to offend. Oh, yes, try. Oh, try for...
Oh,
no, good tackle.
Oh, he was held. He was held.
Don't know if he was.
So
that might be coming back.
The referee's given a try, but he'll go to the TMO.
Speak about James Lowe there. Like, he is so good at that link play. Once he makes the break, his head is up trying to look for the...
Yeah, like Duhan van der Merwe is probably going to try to finish that.
Yeah. That was a beautiful two-phase strike play by the Lions. Line out off the back, hit Conan up midfield, and Gibson Park dummies to go back right, but they were always going to go left and same way. Tupolatu out the back.
Lovely pass.
And then just that sweet play.
And Low up against a weak defender is always like
his fend.
Yeah, his fend is so
well, maybe
don't know is he held.
He doesn't release the ball.
I don't release the ball.
I would be surprised if this wasn't disallowed. Great tackle by Jorgensen.
Are they checking it?
Yeah.
Shot clock is ticking.
He doesn't.
Oh no, but you can still check it. Okay, hang on.
Where's see Tom Clarkson there? Line.
Nice holiday. They checked him, have they? Yeah, for me, he doesn't release that ball. Yeah. That's coming back, I think. That has to be finished.
I think, and if it's not finished, he needs to basically recycle it.
Yeah.
You know, Hugh Jones there.
That's greedy.
The Lions are going to score the next phase.
That's greedy.
You either pop it from the ground or you just plant it. I don't know if that can be given, lads.
It's definitely being pulled back.
Pulled back, yeah.
And contrast that, when Ellis Genge picked the ball up off James Lowe, he didn't go for that extra yard.
He recoiled.
He had the wherewithal to know I'm not getting over. Whereas Hugh Jones, this is greedy and a bit headless, to be honest.
Because Gibson Park's there.
Gibson Park is there.
Oh wait, hang on now. They're looking at. So what?
Lina, is it?
That's
very harsh.
I generally hate
that's
that
good.
kind
You say
of
minimal contact. I'm sure Kelly's saying, to be fair.
Yeah. So try this now. That's massive because Lions go 7.
Game over there.
You look at the ease, though, lads, that the Lions carved out Australia there, and then you look at the sustained period of pressure just for Tyg Burns breakdown. They're going nowhere really. So
that's Ringrose coming back in for the second test, though. I'm telling you, that's all. That's Ringrose coming back in for the second. That's a really poorly. You have to be finishing that.
Yeah. And he is a good. He is a good finisher.
No, it was a great tackle by Jorgensen.
See the way he bounced. So basically, Gibson Park bounced back as if he's going to go right, but the Lions were always coming left, and that's
nice pass.
Look at Jorgensen. Jorgensen gets fended by Lowe, but comes back and makes the try-saving tackle.
It's brilliant by him, but
it was lovely.
Not great defence first up, but
how many wingers have we seen trying to go high on James Lowe?
Yeah,
and coming off the wrong side of it.
But to be fair, a lot of wingers would have left it there.
Yeah, totally.
And it would have been an easy running. So I give him a little bit of credit. Sorry, a good bit of credit.
So here's the replay of it. So just Conan opens up middle of the field.
Two-sided.
Yeah. And he just bounces for a second, but he's always going the other way.
Big Joe McCarthy was on the decoy. Yeah,
that's lovely.
Super play.
Yeah.
He's just such a good fender.
But that's what I'm saying. Once Lowe goes past his man, his head is up and he's looking for the inside pass.
He's so good at that.
Yeah. The amount of tries, usually it's Gibson Park on his inside for Leinster and Ireland picking them up.
And so it's funny because he scores so many tries himself, but yet he still has so many assists. It's not as if his try count himself is down.
Oh, so the Lions have been penalised for sacking them all there.
Jumping across?
Yeah, jump across first, but then I think they pull it down as well. But it just gives Australia a little bit of a lifeline to get an easier exit.
Big time.
We've someone watching from Hiroshima in Japan. We've someone watching from Maynooth, so the cross section just keeps growing more and more.
Keep them coming.
And someone is watching on a ferry from Havard to Split. Nice part
beautiful.
of it. Oh, yeah. Good.
Beautiful Havard.
Probably a big session there, I'd say.
Havard is stunning.
So was this a toe J grabbing? Yeah, grabbing him.
Yeah.
I was burn across, I think.
Oh, was it?
Kind of those ones where it's in an area of the pitch where you can afford to. Just lost it again.
Australia have been very messy, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've had one clean scrum on the left wing, and besides that, everything has been a bit choppy. Like they haven't been able to do. Oh Jesus! Oh, it's risky.
We're taking chances.
Harry Potter.
We've hardly seen Suili.
No, nothing.
That's 50-22?
No, it's going.
Oh, is that coming dead?
No, it's not. It bounces.
Oh, that's back. It's all the way back.
That was brilliant by Keenan.
Jeez,
so
Hugo just moved.
That's like I'm thinking Clement Watchalong and Rob Howley in 2004.
So the ball was bouncing along the try area, and he just trusted himself.
Jeez, the swing there, if that goes on the 5 metre line versus now the lines of a scrum on the inside the 10 metre line of Australia, that's huge.
Oh, he shifted.
Oh, like it could have easily come off his leg.
Did well. It's a good attacking platform here now for the Lions as well.
Colin Hennessy watching in Wanganui, New Zealand.
I saw a bit of the All Blacks game actually.
Yeah, it was good. If France had sent their full team, they would have won 3-0.
The benefits that
the
they
French
get from that tour.
The French are the most selfish, myopic rugby nation. Unless they want to play with themselves in 20 years' time, they should be trying to grow the game. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, but the top 14 have such power, like, and the length of the season there. I actually think it works out as long as they can keep the Kiwis happy. And I know they're not happy with this tour.
Happy, they're absolutely fuming.
But realistically, for me, South Africa and France have the most depth going into 2027. This tour has been good for France.
Yeah,
I know it's been good for France. And my point was, I knew they'd be competitive because they have so many good players.
Yeah.
But it's just, this could have been a locked and loaded global heavyweight contest. And
I think
they just don't care.
No,
the amount of like lads that are banged up after the top 14. I see Entamac and Jalibert both had surgery.
Yeah.
And stuff. I think you obviously know, Bert, from coaching over there. Like, it's just a brutal.
But the schedule should have been maybe tweaked to maybe accommodate. I'm not saying the lads should have played after the final and gone. I'm just saying there should have been a concession made for a 3-test series. When's the last time they had a 3-test series? Maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, but put yourself in the French person's shoes. Six Nations champions, European champions. You know, a lot of talent. They don't feel too bad about themselves.
I know they don't care. That's my point. Yeah. They should care though about the health of the overall part. Unless they only want to play it in the top 14 and they only want to have like their own good part of the game, like which they like. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being very naive, which it is, but. No, blindside.
It's a waste of.
That's a complete waste. That is a complete waste.
So
what do you think is called there? Like, what are they seeing? What are they trying to do with that? Like, so Freeman, that's the Freeman chip out.
I think, to be honest, they're just trying to get the ball into the 22 and then go pound him, but he kicks it away and it's a
so you don't think the kick was pre-planned?
No, I think they would prefer he just carries there, gets him on the front foot, and then they get into a little bit of shape. Lions going to go for crossfield kick. That's why it's 22.
That's not a great
too long.
Kick. Yeah.
No, low make. He did well.
There's Suede.
Is this what Australia want?
Yeah.
Chance to counter ruck, but look at the Lions.
Lowe did well there.
Brilliant.
That's really good by Lowe.
Brilliant by Hugh Jones as well.
Hugh Jones, yeah.
Ikitau was really piling in
because
there.
they need to get like some scraps like that.
Because it is only 10-0. Like, you know, like
it feels like it's a lot more.
It does,
but
they give it away. The ball's
turnover, yeah.
Okay, it's just
turnover.
Now they got to go. Off Sully.
First touch, is it?
Yeah. Good tackle. Tackle with Tupilatu.
Conan had about a bite at that.
Your lads a bit of spice from November, of course.
Oh, yeah. It must be a strange feeling for Tupilatu. Knock out. Was that touched?
In fairness to the Wallabies, they're trying to play.
They're
trying to get the ball to the edges, but the Lions defence.
It's a brutal kick. Wasn't it great? Gave him a little bit of pressure there by Keenan's pass, though.
Now's a chance. So Russell kicked it along down the middle.
50-22. No, that's a shit kick. Oh, that knock on?
No, Freeman picks it up off his toes.
Oh. Straight out. Freeman. That's two mistakes by Freeman now in a minute.
That box kick was really poor, though, for the Wallabies. To me, it seemed like he was almost pre-programmed that, you know, the game plan was to kick in behind rather than actually scanning the picture because the lines were perfectly set up in the backfield there.
No.
But
Keenan didn't give Russell a great pass there after that bad box kick.
No.
He kind of put him under a little bit of pressure. And now Freeman making this mistake.
It's been the last kind of 5-10 minutes been a bit kind of.
Yeah, Australia getting back into it. Tyke Byrne with a line out. He's man of the match. Yeah.
Third turnover.
That blue scrum cap.
Who thought Chesham should start?
Tupilatu. Oh, that's a penalty.
He said no hands. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now, what do you think?
They go to
a Russell chip?
No, they're going to play Tig.
Tig, bro.
That's a good tight out prop flinging that ball off his bad hand. McCarthy in open field.
Oh, I love the
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh,
Gaines with a burst.
Still going. The Rhino, baby Rhino.
Ah. 2 big carries, though.
Yeah,
advantage over.
Yeah.
That's not a
This game could do with a scrap, you know that?
Yeah. The Wallabies could do with just getting in under the skin.
Advantage over. You don't often see that quick.
No.
The Tig Furlong skip pass. It's been a while since we've seen it. Yeah, absolutely need this.
We have a guy, Rian, in Vancouver, saying he's surprised Marcus Smith made the squad and saying Crowley would have been a better option. Don't think he was ever.
I think we were
never.
Marcus Smith is a surprise, but I don't think Crowley was. Oh no.
Was there ever a world where Prendergast would have gone?
Yeah, the world about
if they beat
Northampton.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
he was going.
He was going. You think?
Yeah, you 100%.
The whole discourse around Sam Prendergast has been started by the Lions head coach, who I have no doubt was hoping would fast track him into the Lions setup as well, and obviously didn't go well towards the tail end of Six Nations and then the Northampton game as well. I think realistically, if one of the 10s had gotten injured, obviously Owen Farrell's there now, but George Ford probably would have been a really good call up, and they'd probably like to have George Ford. I like George Ford on the bench today.
100%.
He's playing good rugby at the moment.
He's really
very good.
But I don't agree with the English notion that he's the best player never to go on the Lions tour. Tell me which tour he should have gone on. There's not one single. His best rugby coincided with non-Lions years. There's not one time when he.
I think this is probably the one. Realistically, just because Marcus and Finn are both, they're not nailed down yet. Finn Smith's got unbelievable potential. Marcus is a very exciting player, but I think this one you really only had Russell as that established 10, whereas the other tours you've Raj, you've Bigger,
Scrum penalty,
you've Sexton, you've Farrell. Like we've had a. I agree with you. This is the only Lions tour I think that George Ford probably should have been on compared to
for the people pushing. People seem to forget in November against the All Blacks. Remember the All Blacks game? He was a complete disaster at the end of that game. Against Australia, he came off the bench and was a complete disaster as well. So he has played international rugby this year and hasn't been great.
Yeah, true.
But he was great for Sale. What
are we seeing here, Birch? Your scrum.
You're a scrum doctor over here.
Oh yeah. So Ellis Gaines just gets bent in. He's not happy with the bind.
Alatoa's blood spilling out of his head.
Right.
Mike Lalato's brother.
Another scrappy line out.
I told you should have snagged him there.
But it's shit ball. It's terrible ball for
McCarthy. Crunch.
He's been very good.
He has been
very good.
Yeah.
Fair, the Irish side's going pretty well. Really Lowe has been a little untidy.
Yeah, but he still has that moment where he creates what should be a try for Hugh Jones, you know. Oh, good hit by Dan Sheehan. Catches Australia behind the gain line. Good tackle by Curry. So Australia trying to get a bit of momentum. They're going nowhere, so they have to kick in behind. And again, it's...
and go here.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That was a lovely bit of play. That was a bad kick by Lowe. That could have been a really good moment there.
A poor kick, though, wasn't it, from Lina? Never on.
Yeah, but the problem is they're on the back foot, 2 or 3 carries behind the gain line. He's just trying to make something up.
Shoveling shite.
You know?
Ben O'Keefe does a lot of coaching.
Loads.
Like, that should be a penalty against Curry instead of letting him say that's a ruck 7, that's a ruck 7.
But the 7 is Curry's done his job there. You know,
He's
gone. Wow.
Australia, Jorgensen in the air.
Game on now.
Yeah.
Out of nothing.
Could be 17-0 and all of a sudden you're looking at possibly 10-7. Hugo was in the air, beaten.
Yep.
And he's been rock solid so far.
Last 10 minutes, though, Australia have been getting more scraps and Lions have been...
And a classic Joe Schmidt, like that's what they would have been looking for, Birch, isn't it?
One-on-ones.
Yeah.
Only 20, Jorgensen as well.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he's quality.
Yeah.
Was picked in the World Cup squad and tore his ACL. Like, he was...
That's a super box kick. Look at the hang time. It's outside the 22.
That's a great catch. Straight from Keenan's bread basket, like.
And in fairness, once you win that going forward, there's no one in the backfield. You see Finn Russell tries to make up the ground, but
Keenan actually wins it though, you know, and Jorgensen actually rips it. That's really good.
And the beauty of the kick obviously being landing outside of 22 is it makes Keenan doubt because he's not in the 22 to call the mark. So there's like a split second doubt in his head, and it cost him a fair play. It was great box kick, great finish.
Wide.
But they'll take so much confidence.
Huge, but great for the match as well.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it's a real contest.
Yeah, it's like Hugo had done the hard part. Didn't
Yeah.
Robbed by a 20-year-old.
Game on now.
And that'll help Australia settle because, I mean, to concede so early, to have the line break from Hugh Jones, not really have anything go right for them.
Gee, that Jones moment could be a real
massive.
Like the game is done, I would think, if it's 17-0.
100%.
Just trying to see if we get some stats here.
And now it's the Lions who need to settle down, and just get a bit of play back.
It's kind of against the run of play. Like, it's just an area collision that's lost. It's not really a defensive system error.
Yeah.
That's where your experience. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep winning collisions. Let's get it. Red zone entry points.
So the Wallabies actually have 59% possession and territory, which is a slight surprise to me anyway.
Oh, lovely by Russell. Again, just wants the ball in his hands. Calls out to back off Genge.
It's funny, that's a tackle by
Freeman.
Nick Champion de Crispini. He hasn't been involved at all.
No, he hasn't.
On the short side, it's on.
That's good. So that's where Gibson Park is so good. If the short side is ever under-resourced, he's just able to go down there so quickly.
Yeah, Bigger giving him the props in the
okay, yeah, that's nice shape. Oh, they have him here. Oh, jeez, that pass goes to hand.
Hugh Jones.
Yeah.
Loose, very loose.
It's good play though.
The Lions' attacking shape is actually shortening that Wallabies defensive line.
Oh, it could be.
That was very close.
Oh, I thought that was a turnover there.
Pretty clean.
That looked like a turnover. Oh, I thought he was going to offload that.
Yeah.
Good carry though, good carry.
Yeah, but he gets over gain line furlong. Tubalado was shape out the back. Russell.
James Lowe popping up in the opposite wing.
Yeah.
But him coming across like that, it shows how alert he is. Like, good from Byrne there.
Yeah. Lions are on the front foot here.
Even getting a tree out of this to settle down.
Oh, nice play. Furlong at the back to Russell. Crossfield kick.
Oh,
it's on space, Joe.
He could have jumped for that, no?
Oh, Jesus, they're off the hook. God.
Oh, that's
Jump.
it.
He's calling for it.
That's not. He knocked that on.
You don't often see Joe McCarthy out in the tram lines
A
there.
little bit more this tour, but
No,
he lost it.
No.
God, McCarthy was in so much space there. It's probably a poor kick.
It is. I was going to say,
it's
I
all
needed
good.
a bit more sympathetic. It's a second row in the wing.
He actually didn't need to kick it into the dead ball area. He needs to just kick it to him.
Yeah.
He was completely unmarked.
yeah.
Like that's another massive missed opportunity. That's
Yeah, but also I think
Might have a set piece here from here now.
looked like
the
it was
middle.
good rugby though.
The old Joe Schmidt special.
yeah.
Oh, Wallabies have done well. Slow it down.
Oh, they've gone for that wide pass off the ruck. Tubalado hitting Ty Byrne.
Burns been everywhere.
Brilliant. Inside ball, lovely. That was the play.
That's the Ireland one, yeah.
It was a set-up play in the third phase.
That's a good pass.
At the back. Oh, Jesus. Furlong just puts it to the ground, but
Just carry it.
they're trying to be creative, aren't they?
Oh, this is
Jones
very
again.
sloppy now. This is a really. They just need to take it into contact here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, someone
Russell,
is-
you madman. He's going to for Toje. It's going to work. Toje through the middle. Into the 22.
Just get a few phases and settle down again, yeah.
So this is where you want the Lions just to muscle up here.
Genge.
Yeah, again, it's great carry.
Byrne, you need to clear that out though.
Yeah, great carry by Genge. Great clean.
Yeah, because Wilson was loitering.
Be direct. Lovely Hugh Jones.
Oh,
Good.
yeah, one more phase
Let's
now.
go here. Oh, bad Paul presentation.
Yeah, this.
So the Lions are 3 yards out.
Yeah, and they're really queuing up now. Like they need a try here. It's a good rugby here though. Like the.
No, the breakdown. Oh, good by Genge. Hits Byrne, but good hit.
tackle. Advantage.
Oh, advantage.
Penny advantage, yeah.
That's huge now.
Side.
There's no one.
No, good ball.
Has to be room somewhere.
Jesus,
Got
great
it.
pass. Walk in low.
Oh.
Oh, he lost
I
it.
knocked it on.
Did he not have two men outside him?
Yeah, I'd say he did.
Oh.
They're really blowing.
I think it was Dan Sheehan out in the.
Yeah.
Got a bit of white line fever here.
What are they doing here? Tap or line out? Line out hasn't been.
5 metre tap.
I think you can go for 5 metre tap here.
Yeah.
Don't let him off the hook.
Have to go for
they
the
haven't
top.
been clinical.
They haven't at all.
Just come back to the start of this. The Russell crossfield kick to Joe McCarthy. It's so early in the phase play. You know, like the Lions were they're going to go to the corner, they back their maul, and even there, like James Lowe either passes that or he's got to look after it.
Yeah, let's see here. We'll see a wide angle here.
It's a really wide pass from the park. Oh, he misses about 6 players.
Freeman's there. Look at
Sheehan.
Sheehan.
Sheehan's on the edge. Just hands there and to walk into Sheehan.
That's uncharacteristic.
We've just been praising his playmaking.
Miss a huge moment of the game. 5 minutes before half time.
Oh, lovely throw. The throw I told you without a jump, but
Australia done
well. Joby, get away from the touchline. Okay, so the Lions
they're in control.
2 meters out, 2 meters from touchline.
This is a big moment in the game, isn't it?
You don't need to be flashier. You just got to
good carry.
Round and pound. Otoje.
Held up.
Oh, God, he's held up.
Well, there's a penalty.
Yeah, but
that should be a card. When's the card coming?
Again, though, did Otoje need to do that?
He
The white line fever here.
But why are you jumping over the ruck?
Yeah.
How often do you see tries with people jumping over a ruck at international level? Never.
And
I think they should go for the quick tap here because they haven't shown real dominance at line-out time yet. And Maul.
This is a Dan Sheehan quick tap here.
Yeah, quick tap, yeah.
Now, will it be a carry or one of the moves?
Carry. Yeah.
There's carry. Yeah, there's a big one more big carry. The Curry. Try.
Surely score.
Try for Curry. Try for Curry.
Route one
and in fairness, this is what we thought when we saw that Lions pack.
Yeah.
That if it comes to an arm wrestle, they have the power against this Wallaby front five in particular, and you just seen it there. That's massive because the last 4 or 5 minutes there, they've had some opportunities and haven't taken them.
To be fair, they've responded really well to the try. Like they've missed a couple of chances, but the rugby has been good.
Really good. Yeah. Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, when the big ball carriers get like there's some really big pick and goes in the last 5 minutes.
Massive. Like to be fair, Keane, I think I don't disagree with your stats, but how I feel about this game is the Lions have been significantly better. You know what I mean? The Wallabies have had more possession, but I don't know. Like they haven't really looked dangerous, whereas the Lions have had proper opportunities.
And if the Lions have been more clinical, they could actually be outside.
Dahi Barker is watching in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's saying he's enjoying watching a full zoo of Lions test animals.
Okay, very good.
Moneybags891 is saying he might have to turn us off because we're ahead of his dodgy box, so we're spoiling what's coming.
We don't condone dodgy boxes.
Yeah. And we have Christopher in the Philippines. They were really going.
Another great spot.
Yeah, have you been there?
I have. Lovely spot.
Manila?
Oh, the islands.
So they went for the short kickoff.
Who got injured?
Byrne fell down, but he did enough to win that area collision.
Hopefully he's all right.
He got banging ahead. So he came out a good hit on Genge.
Genge has been good.
Yeah, it's class.
Very good.
Class.
Really justify that selection.
To be fair though, like you touched on it earlier, Will, like he laid down a marker in the game in Dublin and has been outstanding ever since.
Oh, well done, that Sheehan.
Scraps.
Sheehan's starting to get a bit more prominent as well.
Oh, lovely Conan by late ball.
Oh, very late.
Hands by Curry.
Could be on here.
Yeah, could be on now. At the back.
Have a carry.
He's got good feet, hasn't he? Too long.
Great feet, yeah.
I don't know. No. Is that?
Oh.
Well done by Russell, though.
Russell did very well to read that and stop it.
It looked like McRoy.
Russell, is that Russell? His hands on it as well, and he lost it though.
Forward now. So this is scrappy ball here. Australia have it back, kicking downfield. Now well covered.
I could see another score coming here before half time.
50-22. No.
I'd say you want to get that off. They just won't.
Want half time at this stage?
A minute and a half to go, yeah.
I think Bundy and Ringrose playing today would be a bit more physical,
I think
direct.
Tuilado's been good.
He's been good.
Tuilado's been good.
But the way the Lions are getting their joy, I feel like has been a bit more Route 1 maybe.
Yeah, but I think you'd have to back the Lions' fitness.
And their bench.
And the bench, like late in that, you're bringing Bundy on, just being direct.
Yeah.
As they start to get a little bit fatigued.
I could actually see Alex Mitchell having a few snipes as the game gets broken up as well.
But even you look at like Kelleher, Porter coming on off the bench.
Porter coming on as a sub. And not a Jackman Aber 20 minutes sub, like a proper sub. Like.
Oh, good carry by Sheehan again. So they throw the ball to Gibson Park down the front. He throws it back to Sheehan.
So do they just conservative here?
Lions will go for try and get a penalty here, I think. At least. Go carry by McCarthy.
He's been very good.
Very slow ball.
He's been very good in this half.
Now they're going to box kick into the 22.
James
Try
Lowe.
to win a scrap, yeah. Oh, it's too long.
Too long, is it? Or is it?
Oh, well,
Great.
great.
Oh,
That was in the air for sure.
yeah.
This could be a card potentially. I'll see. Maybe not. Absolutely minced him as well. Curry. He absolutely flattened him.
That's young 10 Tom Curry. I'm going to leave one on here.
Oh, that's a.
Gosh.
That's a.
I've seen yellow given.
I think that's a yellow.
Fair.
I think that's a yellow. Like on what planet? He's nowhere near the ground. He absolutely minces him. Like that should. I think that's
Right
a
into the
yellow.
ribs as well.
Yeah, could have broken his ribs.
Yeah, I think he's lucky not to get yellow. Joe
Schmidt thinks
it's
it's
yellow.
yellow.
Yeah, Schmidt think that's a yellow anyway.
Nah, he's not having a look at it.
Ah, yeah. Lucky, I think.
Oh, he's missed it. No, he's okay.
Oh,
Oh, brilliant. No,
That's allowed?
no, it's allowed,
What?
yeah. Okay, so they've got a chance. So it's a long kick
Yeah.
from Australia deep into the Lions half.
no, he kept it in.
Oh, he kept it in.
Yeah.
He
Was
kept
that,
it in.
who was that?
Wow.
Was that Russell?
I think it was Russell.
That was unbelievable.
Jeez, the Australia.
Kind of sums them up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit, the first half.
So that's what, line 17, Australia 5, half time, guys. Been a great half though, hasn't it? I know there's been a lot happening. Bernard, what's your big takeaway from that half now?
I think it's been pretty impressive by the Lions, to be fair. They've had a good balance to their game, nice and direct, getting after them at set piece. Tyburn has been exceptional, whether it's in carries, whether it's the line out D, or whether it's at the breakdown. And just the Lions look so much more muscular. You know, I think they'd be saying it could be 22 or 3-0 up here. You know what I mean? Because the try kind of came from nothing. It's a moment of brilliance from Jorgensen. I think the Lions will be really comfortable that whatever the Wallabies thought they were going to implement, it hasn't really hurt them.
Yeah. And like, obviously Byrne said the try came against run of play. Great bit of play by Jorgensen, but you remember that long set where Australia had the ball in the 22 and the Lions looked so comfortable.
Yeah.
Like the Lions really have dominated that half.
I think the Lions actually at times were their own worst enemies. They kind of went away from that physical approach, and then I think they realised after that 10-15 minute sticky part where Jorgensen scored, they're like, we actually need to just go back to basics here, and that's where the Tom Curry try came from, because that's what we were fully expecting from the word go. And while they did it from the start, kind of went away from it a little bit, so I'd imagine that will be part of Andy Farrell's half-time team talk, that not quite put it up the jumper because they have the weapons out the back, but you can see there's a stark difference, I think, in the Lions ball carriers, whether it's Joe McCarthy, whether it's Ellis Genge, the way they're able to get over the gain line, and you touching it there, Will, that big phase that Australia were going through, that the Lions were pretty comfortable in defence.
I think what's striking, Bernard, that's spin through the pack like Genge, Sheehan, Furlong, Itoje, McCarthy, Byrne, Curry, Conan. Conan may be slightly quiet, but it's had to do some of those punishing carries. The rest of the guys have been so prominent, some really big carries, some huge hits, and just generally dominating and dictating the game.
Yeah, so in fairness to Conan, he's been used as the battering ram, off short lineouts. So, and that's when Australia are set, and then it's making it easier for the likes of Furlong and Genge on the second, third phase. But like, how I think about that first half, Australia have had one chance, and it wasn't even a chance, it's literally a kick that Jorgensen wins, and then the Lions score from Tupolatu, score from Curry, the Joe McCarthy chance, the James Lowe botch, and the Hugh Jones botch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, there's probably another couple in there that you say. So realistically,
The Russell Cross.
yeah, that's the one, the Joe McCarthy. And like, Australia really haven't stretched the Lions or in any way. Like, and that's what they're going to have to. They're going to have to find. Like, we talk about Joe Schmidt and his tactical and technical ability. Has he got seen things at half time in the first half that they can implement on the run to go and actually trying to change this game?
Like, I'm looking at the bench here for Australia, like, so Tate McDermott, pacey scrum half, but you're 12 points down. Like, you know, is in Andrew Callaway, Ben Donaldson, Carl Tizano, who is good, Tom Hooper is good, but Angus Bell, you know, he's a bit of explosivity, but
They won a scrum penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, that hasn't been, because I think there's been at times in the first half where maybe a little like a Joe Schmidt team, they've looked a little too pre-programmed, and I know it's a big test for Tom Lynagh making his first start, but himself and Gordon, they've kind of just been pre-programmed rather than just taking maybe a half a second to assess the picture that's unfolding in front of them. A couple of loose kicks, they haven't been great. I know they obviously scored the try from it, so I think they just need to, when they're in possession, be slightly more calm. But that said, the line speed from the Lions,
as dominant as the Lions have been, Bernard, like the start Australia made gave them no chance. It was so error strewn. It handed the Lions such initiative and opportunity and field position that like in the best will in the world with the best game plan in the world, the basic errors, like as we saw Harry Potter fumbling that ball, you know, over the line, Fraser McRoy getting a turnover but then throwing a loose pass in midfield.
Yeah, look, I think Keane's right. So the Joe Schmidt model is around efficiency. You know what I mean? So if you're going to bring structure, you need to bring accuracy, and they've been completely devoid of that. I think if you're looking at them at half time, like who are your flair players? They're Ikitau and Suolihi, really. So all you want is your structure to give you an opportunity to give them an opportunity to play unstructured. You know, like and they haven't looked like that at all. And obviously Jorgensen on the wing is a threat. Tom Wright's a hell of a player, but they need to make sure that their shape is actually just kind of creating a little bit of chaos for people with X factor and power.
It's a good point you make, because Suoli, I think, had one carry in that half. Yeah. Remember the Fiji game that was talking about? I don't think he received a single pass. No. 2 games into the 20-25 year, and like the big star, super saviour of Australian rugby, like as you say, should they not be game planning a bit more to get him on the ball?
100%, and that's why that's why I'm disappointed with Australia, because that's the only chance they really have is to get someone like him in positions where he can make things happen. And you know, you credit the Lions defence, they've had him on the back foot, etc. But realistically, that's your job. Your job is to get the one guy in your team who has freak athleticism, freak X factor, running at forwards. You know, where he's completely dominant in terms of that.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Tom Wright either, who I think is a class.
I don't think he's carried the ball once,
but he's a brilliant playmaker from 15 as well, and we just haven't seen that. Because I agree with you, Bernard. Like, I mean, this guy Suaalii is being held up as the saviour of Australian rugby, but you got to get him in the ball. We know how great he is in restarts. We know how big he hits in defence, but there's more to him than that. And if you're not getting him and Len Ikitau involved, then it could be a long afternoon, because you touched on the Wallabies bench, but the quality that the Lions
that's what I was going to say. Kelleher, Porter, Will Stewart, Ollie Chazin, Ben Earl, Alex Mitchell, Marcus Smith, Bundyaki, with a 12-point lead and those guys to come. Are we looking at this being ugly?
Yeah, at the moment I would say the odds of this being competitive in the last 10 minutes are low. You know, I think it could get worse here.
But to say the least, I mean, like, are we looking at this being like a 20-point to 25-point, or potentially like
first 5-10 minutes after half time? Look, it's a bit of a cliche, are absolutely crucial, because you look at the old championship minutes, Tom Curry scoring just for half time, and I would fully expect not Andy Farrell to give the Lions a rocket, but to just tell them to go more direct. And if they come out after the second half and get an early score, it's curtains. And maybe not just for the game, unfortunately, possibly for the series, because we spoke a lot before the game that this is Australia's big opportunity, I think, to cause an upset.
Yeah, okay. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for the second half. In the meantime, you can watch Rob Kearney in conversation with Joe Malloy. Please keep your comments coming in the second half, where I think we've over 5,000 people watching across the world, as I mentioned, from Maynooth to Singapore. Myself, Keith and Bernard will be back in just a couple of minutes.
I'm living a dream. And because it all happened so quickly, Grand Slam first one in 67 odd years, and the country, like, it wasn't like the last few Grand Slams. The country went absolutely mental for this, rivaled with Italia 90.
It was so big, yeah.
And then Leinster go and win their first Heineken Cup, and then a Lions announcement. So it's just one incredible thing coming after the other.
And it's worth stating as well the extent to which you're living the dream. Meanwhile, all your mates your age are like enduring the teeth of the worst recession in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, it's you're in this lovely bubble. Like, it's extra dreamy.
Yeah. When I look back on it now, I was, you know, in some respects, I was very lucky to have made the plane in 2009. We played Harlequins in the quarterfinal in that Bloodgate game, which I think was early April. And I came in after the game on the Monday morning. My face had swollen up, and Felipe Contaponi looked at me and goes, "Mate, you need to go home. You are sick."
And he's a doctor.
So went to the doctor, got it checked out. Anyway, I had a severe case of the mumps. Fast forward a couple of weeks, I was in Blackrock Clinic for 2.5 weeks. Like, I was genuinely very, very sick. And Gary O'Driscoll, who was the Lions team doctor, phoned me when I was in Blackrock Clinic, and he said, "Mate, what's sort of going on? How's the health? How's the fitness?" And I told him the full story, And I think if I didn't have, Gary was the Irish team doctor for the years before then. If I didn't have a good relationship with him, because he batted for me, he said, okay, this doesn't sound great, but I won't give Geach the full story and tell him you'll be good to go around tour time. You know, if that was nowadays, I might not have. You might have been pulled, because I didn't play again. I didn't play again for Leinster except for 6 minutes in the final.
Oh.
So I went 3 months almost without playing any rugby.
I don't remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Missed the game in Croke Park against Munster.
Did you?
Yeah.
God, I've completely forgotten all that. Right.
So I didn't. I played very little rugby. I think I lost 7 or 8 kilos in that time. And this is the other sort of bizarre thing about 2009. When I look back on those games, okay, I'm sure you'll get into the second test and the performance in that, but there was nothing in the 3-4 months lead up to that to suggest that I was going there in any sort of half decent form.
Okay.
You know, so I do look back on that tour and say, Christ, I was very lucky. I was very lucky to have gotten on the plane from a health physical standpoint. And then I was very lucky to produce a performance like that when there was nothing to suggest that I should have.
Interesting. What do you put it down to?
I don't know. Is there an element of luck in it? You know, some days things just go your way. Is there, you know, is there some... I love the big days. I always enjoyed, you know, the more people watching, the more cameras, whatever comes with the bigger day, I sort of got not more up for them, but it didn't seem to affect it had a positive performance on my performance,
yeah,
as opposed to a negative one.
So, you know, there's that nice start of the tour where it's going to be drinks and God, this is relaxed and your time is yours and have fun. It seems like the whole thing was laid out beautifully though in 2009, in that I've heard players talk about how, again, you couldn't do it in New Zealand with the weather, but in South Africa, the gym is kind of outdoor next to the pitch, so everyone's together all the time. There's the, you know, who's the Welsh... How have I forgotten his name?
Bobby.
Long-haired front row, now part of the coaching ticket. Adam Jones, yeah. O'Connell always says that Adam Jones said, I gave up the drink for 6 months to come on this tour, and now all I do is drink.
There was an unbelievable relationship with the Irish and Welsh on that tour. And I think it is inherent in all the other tours. There's something about the Irish and Welsh that they just seem to get on very, very well.
Okay. So was it fun? Like, it was fun?
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Now, I trained hard. Because, again, it was old school training too. So you'd be on the pitch twice a day, and right, you'd be doing physical contact and bone on bone, which wouldn't necessarily happen nowadays. A lot more care for players, time on field. You'd never go over 80 minutes. So training was tough.
And this is the best of the best in training. So was this is a level above Irish training, I presume?
Oh, it was a real level above. And again, this, you know, the very first pitch session you have, you notice just the quality of passing just sharper, the speed of everything just a little bit quicker, but it makes everyone, and it brings players up another level again. And then you want to impress the people around you, so you find that little bit more within yourself. It just has this unique ability to bring the best out in players.
Hello, welcome back to the Indo Sport Watchalong. Will Slattery here with Bernard Jackman and Cian Tracey. The second half is just about to begin. I hope you got some halftime refreshments. Guys, we saw Simon Easterby, Bernard, just before the game went back to the stadium. Are we watching the Ireland defence really with the Lions? Are you seeing anything different? Because it's been very good in the first half.
I actually think it's a little bit more aggressive. They've showed a clip there at halftime of what Australia were trying to do, and Gibson Park came in from really wide, just shut it down. Like a little bit more kamikaze, a little bit more blitz than we normally see with Ireland, and it has really asked questions of this Australia attack, which they haven't shown they have the answer to.
I'm fascinated by that because I thought earlier in the series, particularly, that it looked a little bit more aggressive, and I'm wondering what ramifications that's going to have for Ireland. It's not quite Jack Nienaber blitz defence, but I wonder when they get back together in November, are we going to see Ireland's defence a little bit more aggressive?
I think it makes sense, Cian, for Ireland to be a bit more aggressive when you have so many players used to defending with that system. I think you've already seen some of the attitudes around the breakdown, the barge, etc., but we haven't seen that more aggressive line speed on the outside for Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, Curry, that's a great bit of athleticism.
Here we go.
Oh God.
Try time.
Just link, good pace.
Oh, dog. Jones and Freeman does that's.
Yeah, but hang on, we're 10 yards out.
But that needs to be finished. Like, another late pass by Cohen on the gain line.
Thought they might have went out the back there.
They're not afraid to shift, are they?
No.
Shift. Great pass by.
Pass. Yeah.
Walk in, try here for
Cian, try. Did he get that down?
Yeah. So we just said like the 5 minutes before half time and after. And
to be fair, Tom Curry starts to move on, finishes it with the assist. Like his line out steal was brilliant.
Look, I would always trust Sheehan to score. It's just might be a slight question. No, the ball's down, but his feet. Yeah. And if he doesn't look so line, trying to throw it over the back, they obviously spot it.
That's brilliant by Curry. And to get the offload away.
Yeah. That one in the analysis room.
Yes, 100%. It's an analysis room that Australia taught.
Yeah, exactly.
They could exploit, but Curry reads it. But to watch this pass with Gibson Park,
beautiful.
Just puts Hugh Jones on the outside. This time he passes. I think it's okay. And Curry,
if PRD can't spot that, like,
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try.
That's right. Yeah. To be fair,
he's a machine, Gene. Wow.
Great finish.
At first to Curry could just carry there. Dan Sheehan is going to latch on him. He scores, but he just fixes.
And to be fair to Finn Russell, his kicking has improved so much. I know he had that bad day at Twickenham, but he's, Bat scored a lot of tries on the touchline, so he gets a lot of practice from the touchline, and he's actually so accurate from that area.
Yeah. This is a great finish.
It's a great try.
Yeah. It took finishing, didn't it?
We saw Joe Schmidt at half-time. We were wondering what he was saying. Whatever he was saying is now completely moot. Like
we said it like the championship minutes. Like that's the game.
I do want to see that Jones Freeman mix-up again because that's not good rugby. That should be finished off from the get-go. Yeah.
There we go. Suhaili.
Yeah. And Hugh Jones has been busy, but he's not ringrose.
No, I think he's a very exciting attacking player in open field because he's so fast, and he's had 2 big line breaks where he's got a chance to show that. He just hasn't turned it into. And at least there we keep the ball.
It's an injury, do you think?
Must be.
Surprised.
Oh,
unless they're keeping him for the second test.
No, that has to be an injury, I'd say. That's bad for McCarthy.
But you look at the
actually interesting. Sorry, just Chesham's going to the second row, and Burns going to stay at 6 here.
You look at the start of the second half, so the try comes off a line out again. You're kind of
looking at McCarthy there, starting to cut across, trying to get an idea of he's limping, is he?
Yeah, it looks a bit ginger, alright.
He doesn't seem distraught or anything.
43 minutes though it's not a tactical sub.
No, they're getting ice for him, but he doesn't look like his tour's over. You know what I mean, by his body language.
But just go back to the first 3 minutes. So the try comes from a lost Australia line out, and then they lose the knock on the restart. 2 at the areas of the game that they would have been banking themselves on against the Lions. And
you got to nail your set piece.
That's what I mean, and it's Joe Schmidt 101. Like we talked about how important the restarts were. They're knocking it on.
But to be fair to them on that line out, they're actually trying to exploit something, and I would say it's not like a normal line out where it's a bad throw or whatever. They're trying to throw it over the back, and Curry just makes a ridiculous read. Now, if we get another chance to look at it, we have to see, was the decoy good enough to sit down Curry so he can't be in that space?
Yeah, it's one for Vinnie Hammond and the video analysts who've been poring over the footage. Really, all week. And a guy like Vinnie Hammond was obviously Joe Schmidt's
right-hand
man as well. So
he coached me in school.
Didn't he?
And he was actually
Great man.
He gave me like he was like the 12 and the 13 aren't connected here. Do a dummy and go through. Literally immediately scored a try. So whenever I saw that, I was like, he knew it even then.
He's been part of the furniture for a long time.
And he's sitting right beside Andy Farrell. It shows how influential he is.
Yeah, that's in case anyone who's watching doesn't know.
Vinny Hammond is the video analyst for Ireland. He's been seconded to the Lions. But if you ever look at any coach's box, the man sitting right beside him, closer than even Simon Easterby, is Vinny Hammond. Just one quick random one that someone said I'm the scoop. Keenan seems to have lost a bit of confidence since he went to the Olympics. I still think that was a bad decision. I don't know what you guys...
well, his season has... I think he's still an unbelievably good player, but because of the results, because of the way it happened, like DuPont does, he's a gold medal, but it was a strange one from his point of view and an Irish view point of view, wasn't it?
He didn't adapt as well as DuPont. But
and Leinster and Loftus-Versfeld, if he had been playing when Willie LaRue was tormenting their backfield, they could have won the URC that year.
Let's not forget, we've touched on it earlier, that he had a horrific illness or virus on this tour that he lost. What was it, 6 kg? Was wrecked for.
I just wanted to bring up the Olympics thing again. I'm glad one of my burner accounts.
Yourself and Luke Fitzgerald.
One of my burner accounts posted it into the chat.
It's gone now anyway, the sevens.
Oh. Good hit by Russell and Curry.
His defence has improved, hasn't it?
Oh, he loves to tackle.
Yeah,
he's very physical.
He wants to be physical, but just his tackle technique's got a lot better. Oh, the knock, Jesus! Within 3 phases, the Wallabies
just so messy.
The ball away, yeah.
So messy. Yeah, this is just not what you wanted from a whole tour perspective.
No. It's probably worst case scenario. Yeah. Like at 45 minutes, a 20-point deficit would have been worst case scenario. I think.
As Bernard outlined at half time, they could have had 3 more tries as well. So.
Mojo saying way too much white line fever. Hugh Jones the worst culprit. That's bad in the warm-up game. Never mind a test. I think I agree with you, Mojo.
Ireland actually have a lot of that as well. Not to constantly bring back to Ireland, but over the last kind of year to 18 months,
getting held up a lot.
Held up an awful amount, yeah.
But they're pretty good at finishing off line breaks, though. So, like the Hugh Jones things, I feel like when Ireland do get those sort of opportunities, they're generally quite good. It's around the line. I feel like they maybe are a little more, inefficient.
That's a good lineup by Chesham.
Yeah, he's had a good tour, hasn't he?
He's a good player.
Yeah. Great player. Yeah.
When England won at Twickenham against Ireland 2 years ago, he was brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah.
You think he was playing 6 that day as well?
Yeah.
It was George Martin, a guy who actually, had he not been injured, maybe might have featured.
George Martin is a heavy hitter. He's a Joe McCarthy type, but not as explosive. But like
he doesn't have to carry him, but
when he hits you, you're
he
down.
was out of the tour, wasn't he?
He got in.
Scott Cummings, maybe he might.
Yeah,
definitely. Although Cummings has improved on the tour since that first game when he couldn't catch.
It wouldn't be hard to be fair.
That's true. Kickoffs.
Poor lad had a disaster.
Oh yeah.
This is what the Lions don't want to do, is get real loose like this.
Yeah.
Which is what they did at times in the first half. They went away from... Like, that's loose as well.
Bad kick by Hugh Jones.
Bernard, what do you think that your coach has had on here in terms of the Lions? Like, not yet possibly thinking about the second test, but in terms of keeping stuff back, maybe, rather than showing it all here in the game, that's pretty much...
To be honest, I think all the Lions need to here is just actually be direct. Because I think the Wallabies have to start chasing the game now. So that's a kick downfield. That's good by Russell because he finds grass.
Get the line.
And, now let them overplay here. So it's good by Tom Wright. But now Lions...
Great
catch up tackle by Ty Byrne. Now they're on the back foot. Look, they're trying to make it up. This is exactly like Dan Sheehan gets to him.
Sheehan on him.
Got penalty written all over it.
I think he has that. I think it's
Furlong
was picked up by Lions.
Furlong has it. No.
He didn't. But this is disastrous for the Wallabies. They're running up their own arse. But it starts with Russell finding grass and a good chick chase. Like at 24-5 up.
Yeah.
This will turn into points without having to show anything.
And that is the stuff that Andy Farrell craves. Look at the way he picked out Mac Hansen early in the tours, his play of the day. That's the kind of stuff that he loves. Like, that's a big win, isn't it? Big win. But in terms of like set piece, Birch and...
I don't think you show much. No, there's no need. I'd actually now be saying, look, just carry, two block, carry, get around the corner, and just run over them. Order coming on.
I mean, what a player to...
With a Will Greenwood-esque haircut, you might say.
Genge has been outstanding. What a player to bring off the bench. And I think Bundy, when he comes on, will have a field day here.
You know what I'd love to see from Porter? A bit more bang in his carries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like with the Andrew Porter that we grew to build a reputation on was about these big carries. And I think recently he's had lots of activity, but no big carries.
That was the little play that Australia
right,
tried to do. They're kind of rubbing it in Joe's face here, aren't they?
No, this is a play they've obviously practiced.
It's a good tackle by Wilson.
Go back down the bench as well, yeah. But now here you just want to go carry. So go by Curry. Nothing on the blind side. Played the same way. Russell. That's bad.
Dodgy here.
That's a bad play. Yeah. McConan does.
Great.
Conan, that's great footwork.
Turned it into a good play.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Poor defence though.
Yeah, shocking. Like Conan should have been caught behind the gain line there.
Buried.
I don't like kicking that away. Like you're battering away. Just keep it in your hands.
Yeah.
On your point, where John Porter, I couldn't agree more. And I think, is it because he plays so long
minutes,
for Leinster Ireland that it kind of saps his energy from his legs?
Because like this is obviously the plan Leinster had for Northampton.
Yeah.
Where he was coming off the bench, but like let's see what he's like as an impact player.
Because when he broke onto the scene, he was like how Genge is playing now.
Yeah.
Wallabies front row changes. Angus Bell on. I mean,
Ulster's new signing.
Good signing for Ulster.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah. There's a question mark around his robustness though.
Gets injured a lot.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Misses a lot of time.
Well, and he's replacing Kitsoff, which obviously, like poor.
That's the gamble, isn't it?
Retire,
That's the gamble. You know, but realistically, would Ulster be able to get an Angus Bell if there wasn't a doubt about it?
Yeah, and if they can get Bell and Augustus onto the pitch, like Augustus, in that semi-final, he was unbelievable. If he had played the final, they might have won. He got injured. Like,
yeah.
We have Dan Campion watching from Denmark. Australia really missing Lolosio at 10. Wouldn't blame Tom Lynott, to be honest.
Denmark, great country. I studied in Denmark.
Have we oversold the improvements Schmidt has made in Australia?
Well, we have, based on this. This has been a very bad 50 minutes for.
We're checking something here for head contact.
Okay.
Furlong.
Yeah, it's going to be yellow. Fairness to him, I think
there's a wrap.
Mitigation is that Ikitau steps up at the last minute.
There's a wrap.
No, there's a wrap, yeah. But this is they're showing a replay of the carry from Conan where he just steps out of rights. Then he fends.
That's terrible.
Oh, shocking.
Terrible.
But Nick Frost.
Penalty.
Okay, right, very good.
I think that's fair.
That is fair, yeah.
I do think that's fair. Not to have red tinted glasses, but
it's very rare you get a head-to-head with no yellow.
Yeah. It is harmless though, really.
But he started on yellow and then mitigated down because of the wrap.
Do you remember the Ireland-France game, that matadoring call they gave?
Oh, yeah.
That was bullshit. That was a penalty all day.
Yes, that's
I think it's good.
Very smart, yeah. So
I think that's good refereeing.
Well explained, if nothing else.
Yeah, of course.
It's good to see the referee giving clear direction and kind of clear explanation.
Easy to give a yellow card, you know, in Australia, 24-5 down. I think that's good reffing. To be fair, we haven't even really, in the best possible sense, been talking about Ben O'Keefe.
No,
the game has been such a blowout. We haven't really had to, But Bert, to go back to that point someone made about Joe Schmidt being maybe, did we oversell it?
The only thing I would say about Joe Schmidt is I think, and he did show an improvement in Australia, is that the Wallabies in general aren't maybe necessarily a nation that would adore the detail and the structure, if you know what I mean. Like
no one does except Ireland.
I know, and Ireland. No,
we love it, but no everyone else.
But the All Blacks loved it because they were on their knees. You know what I mean? And they needed basically to listen. But that's the doubt. If he could have get them to buy into that, I thought we would have had a much more competitive game. But as I said, we've seen a real lack of accuracy.
But watching today, I'm even more convinced that they need another match. They had one game.
Yeah, no, they look
like. Would it have made a huge difference? Maybe not.
Well. Trying to play a bit now, in fairness to them, but they're still not over the gain line. Now they've got a chance. Okay, they're over the gain line now, gone to the edge. This is where you'd expect the Lions off a touchline to go bash them. Yeah, it's a good hit by Chesham. Yeah, so again, the Lions look very comfortable here defensively. This is the fifth phase, and knock on. Yeah, but that's that. So okay, that's Joe Schmidt. So. You think about Joe Schmidt with Ireland, he's happy to play 10, 12 phases, never really be threatening the defence, but you're eventually going to get a penalty.
Yeah.
And they just lose the ball after 6.
It's like coach killer, really, isn't it? That kind of stuff.
It's just a ball off 9.
That's very poor.
Yeah.
Very poor. Stating the obvious, but like a guy like Will Skelton, I mean, when you look at their second row pairing today, they wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
They wouldn't strike fear into you, would they?
I'm not sure they'd be a good, like, if they'd actually start for a good Champions Cup team.
Yeah. You take Valentini out of that.
Yeah,
It's penalty.
Someone saying Skelton and Valentini returning could even things up a little next week. I don't know, based on what we've seen.
It'll make them better, but you'd like to think that they would be.
They have to roll them out either way.
Yeah.
Either way next week.
Rob has said he's found the match on a German channel in the hotel in Mallorca. I have no German, so your coverage is very much appreciated. So it's great that we're getting people from really all over the world. This is a good point. Chris Lanley, Australia need to convert more NRL stars to Union to be competitive. Think back to 2003 when they hosted the World Cup. Eddie Jones's team, Wendell Saylor, Matt Rogers, Lolly Takiri. Is there something to that, Bernard? I don't know if they have the checkbook to do it, really.
The difference, I think, now is that NRL are so far ahead in terms of the resources, you know, that they can't spend big money on 4 or 5. They've basically spent it on 1, you know, and they're not even able to keep the really good guys like Ikatau, etc., Karevi, you know. They are already been tapped up by other unions, or Exeter, which, you know, in a salary cap. Where there's another chance for Australia. They had field position 6 yards out from the Lions line, and they got held up.
Just on the NRL point, Will, I think I've never been in Australia. Looking forward, hopefully in 27. But I think unless you've been over there, you probably don't have a proper feel for how big the NRL is, especially at the moment. So,
and how small Union is in comparison.
That's what I mean. So, like, number one, you need to have the cash, but also it's not as attractive to get guys to play for a Wallabies team. And obviously they sold Suaili in terms of big cash, Lions tour, home World Cup, but he's an exception.
I don't even know how you could justify paying like Suaili like $1 million Australian dollars. Like, is he got like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if they could justify that. Like.
Well, judging on this, and I don't know if it's those around him just not getting him the ball, but if you were to say pick out the $1 million man here, you certainly wouldn't be picking out. So
but okay, we'll go back to that team, the Wendell Saylor, etc. They're the icing on the cake because they have a pack, right? Like, you're not going to get NRL players who are going to come into that front 5. This front 5 here, James Slipper, legend of the game, etc. But realistically, he doesn't put the fear of God into you. Alatoa, the same, you know, with Pilecki out, Hooker they're weak, and the second rows are weak. So those likes of Wendell Saylor and these fellas, they can only really operate with some kind of quality ball up front, and these lads look way off.
Yeah.
You know? And like the scrum and line haven't been a one-way traffic, but it's the collisions.
Yeah,
that's where the
ball carrying has been significant.
Yeah, that's where the game's won.
Like, has there been a single Australian forward ball carry? Anything like the McCarthy ones we've seen?
If these lads were wearing Super Rugby club jerseys, you would believe it. They don't look like a top level test quality.
Do you know what's funny? You say that, Keane. When I saw a team sheet, I was like, "That's a Super Rugby team."
Yeah.
That looks like it's a decent Super Rugby Brumbies team or something like that. You might see on a Saturday on Sky. Yeah. Not a Test international team.
So they're going for a power play here, but the ball's slow. So. Yeah. Oh, this is the first carry.
Ty Byrne.
It's a good offload by Wilson.
Offload Wilson. Now they're on front foot. Now they got to play. Oh, good read by Dan Sheehan.
Yeah, he's been really good. He's really grown into the game, hasn't he?
There's Angus Bell, well marshalled. Yeah.
Rod saying there's nothing to play there.
He's so right, though.
Second carry, is it?
Very little shape. Like, the line's just soaking this up. Ty Byrne again.
Ooh,
oh, so this is what they're playing for.
That's a high tackle.
Yeah. Now, can they pull something?
Here we go.
No. Oh, Jesus.
Kicking away advantage. Is there anything more frustrating in rugby?
Well, it just looks like a team who are completely lost of a devoid of ideas, because that's where you got to get excited.
100%. That's what the Joe Schmidt game plan is. They have the advantage and an aimless kick. This is what I said in the first half. It's like they're pre-programmed, and he's like, okay, now I have to kick it, but the kick was never on. Never on.
Yeah, so Bigger's just on CoCom there talking about what Rog said. Look, Lyon has got nothing to play with. And actually, that was after a couple of decent carries. You know what I mean? So I've been forgiving him because I was saying they haven't got on the front foot, but we saw Wilson get an offload. They dented.
2 high tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Lyon. He's
No.
like, like he's been pretty tidy with the ball he's had. Like,
Lineout hasn't been great. It's a big one to win here. Lions don't compete.
Oh, Sully. Well, Marshall by 2 below. Oh,
it's static though. Like his feet were planted. Like Russell would be bouncing onto that.
Oh, Burns.
Byrne getting closer. Byrne's been so good.
Okay, the Wallabies have to score.
Yeah, they have advantage. So yeah,
this is
No, they
the
have to.
game here now.
I mean, try coming here.
Yeah. Oh,
Short. Held up.
Hold
Yeah.
up.
that was a good tackle by Lowe.
2 penalties there.
There's actually a couple of good comments I want to show you, but I'll wait until there's a bit of a more of a lull.
At least they're not thrown in the towel.
No, he's not. To be fair, Wilson is the captain, and he's really leading the charge in the last few minutes.
I think Farrell will be really disappointed again because after Sheehan scores that try, after half time, we're thinking, okay, kill him off now. And they've kind of lost their way, but if anything, actually, the Wallabies have gotten more from the bench so far, haven't they?
Like, how do you think they would do against South Africa or New Zealand?
The Lions?
Yeah.
Different ball game.
I think they'd beat New Zealand. I don't think they'd beat South Africa.
Different.
From what I've seen in the New Zealand France series, I think they'd beat.
Yeah, I agree with you, but South Africa would be different.
Lowe and Atoja did very well there. Furlong gone. Finley a little unlucky not to
Yeah,
be on the
I
bench.
think he is
I
unlucky, yeah.
Didn't think Will Stewart had a.
No, he hasn't been as good as he was in Six Nations.
And he had a stinker in the first game he played against the Reds, I think.
And he was excellent in the
Here's
Six
Bundy
Nations.
on as well now.
I just think politically he maybe thought he couldn't have Bealham as well.
I agree with you.
Like, yeah, that goes into it. Like,
Asta. I'll Ben Earl.
Earl's been good. Has good
very
tour.
good.
For Curry, so Earl is playing 7 then.
the man who likes to celebrate crooked throws with a fist pump and a.
Dummy maul,
back.
shift drive, but
Yeah,
you get away
brilliant
from
from the pack.
Yeah.
Lions pack.
Chesham did really well there as well. He was swimming through from the get-go.
Ikata's carried a lot, but it's been bad ball for him.
Yeah.
Champion of the Print.
Why isn't Samu playing Bernard 6?
I don't know. I definitely have him in.
Is he eligible because of?
Oh, he's
He's
eligible.
out for the Wallabies. He's not eligible for this match on Tuesday, which the Lions, I think, it's a bit petty not letting him play.
Very petty, yeah.
But like champion de
great
Crispini has been anonymous.
I know.
Like, you know, and you get another guy into your back row.
I need a brilliant season for Bordeaux.
Yeah. Oh,
It was class.
and
Yeah.
there's no comparison between Samu and.
But why is Schmidt not picking him? Like,
I don't know.
Bizarre.
He wanted to play on Tuesday, actually. I think with a view to potentially playing a third test.
Well, he was playing too much of a long game with
Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah,
selections.
he was,
then,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Okay,
Could
an
be
advantage.
could be a
Could be
card
a
coming,
card.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lions discipline since
Yeah.
that Furlong clean out.
Yeah.
I think that's about 5 penalties. Oh, a nice late ball. Oh, knock on.
Could be
can
yellow
tell
card,
these players
lads.
been playing
That's
well.
the 3 penalties with team warning,
No,
maybe.
Last warning, I'd say, yeah.
Lucky though.
Yeah, a few people coming in. Justin and Paul both saying they're living in Australia and just the NRL is 10 times bigger. And like
yeah.
one of the guys, Paul, saying he's never once seen like a Super Rugby game on a pub or something like that. Yeah.
But I think the NRL is a great product.
Yeah.
No, it
It was,
is
yeah.
compared to Super League. Like,
Yeah, it's gone. Super League's
Jesus,
gone.
like.
But Union is way down. Think of Aussie rules and cricket and what else.
But someone who says the GA is huge in Ireland, soccer's very popular, we've only 7 million people, and yet we managed to make rugby thrive. So how come Australia can't do it with a far bigger population? I think that's a good point, actually. We were always saying, oh, these sports are bigger, but it's not as if rugby's a huge sport in Ireland.
No, but they also have Aussie rules, don't they? Cricket, soccer's making a big impact.
There's all the injured lads behind them. You look at the quality of players sitting there.
McDermott's a good player, though. Let's see if he can bring some bit of spark. Like, Gordon's a kicking 9, and
Yeah.
the game just didn't really go that way in the end. Now, they got their one try, to be fair. From
Yeah,
him,
but
just
apart
good
from that,
kick.
they win nice scraps.
what an opportunity this is. Scrum underneath the post, two-sided attack.
This is pretty much undefendable.
Yeah.
If it's
if it's executed well.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you have like right or.
So what's your prediction? Where are they going here?
I think they're going to go right.
Waited until he'd gone right.
Ooh, any arms?
They brought Suli on this crash ball. Jesus, are they held up?
Ooh.
Oh!
Wow.
Suli on a crash ball, but Jesus.
Didn't look like there was too many arms from Ben Earl in that tackle.
How did he end up over the line?
Yeah, it looked like he was dragged on the ground, was he?
Classic of Wallabies jersey there.
There we go.
Worth his investment.
Yeah. $1 million Australian dollars.
This is poor from the Lions, though.
Very poor, very
scoring
poor,
that try,
very
you're
poor.
thinking they're going to pull away here.
Yeah, so they just.
No arms by Earl.
Oh.
You're right. That was the yellow card for him.
Yeah, but how did he keep going on the ground there? It looked like.
Yeah, like how does he end up over the line?
Let's have a look at this. Oh, he wasn't held there. Then he's.
Oh.
That's no
try. That's not try. No. That's madness.
You can't do that.
Yeah. This will be disallowed.
Even more blatant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's the yellow card for Ben Earl with no arms, I think, in that for the initial tackle.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's a rugby league guy who doesn't know the rules. With all due respect to that league.
No.
Doesn't pass the eye test. Will they look at the Earl tackle? Let's see. Let's see it there. It's a bad angle.
Oh, he's saying he's not held because it was a shoulder charge. So what is he?
It's not the angle we want.
He's still kind of like wriggle around on the ground. Yeah, so that's
arms.
That's arms.
So he's not held, but that's he's held there. Like
Yeah, that's. Yeah, because he's not releasing there. He hasn't released the ball on the ground. Tupoledu has rights to that, or Mundiaki has rights to that. It's going to be. It's either a penalty.
Is it a penalty try?
No.
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 No, because he would have been. There was enough cover there.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's just a penalty to the Australians
It's
and
a
a yellow for
yellow,
Ben.
yeah. Then they run the same play.
Yeah, but is he even? Is he even? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So they have the rights.
Yeah. This is the angle for Ben Earl now, look. Like, if he doesn't make...
He should have his arms in it.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Well, then it's a penalty to the Lions potentially for a turnover. Like that's a turnover from Bundy. Like Bundy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like he grounds it.
So your man has to. He has to release that.
So then, no, it's not. Then it's a turnover.
But like, lads, well, look,
Yeah. So Piardi's saying
there's just 4 seconds of rugby. Like how many infringements, possible infringements, scenarios are in there?
See what he said?
Okay.
Yeah. Turnover. Yeah, so Bundy gets a turnover penalty.
Brilliant turnover.
To be fair, that was an impossible thing to unpack. To be fair.
Oh, it took 4 or 5 looks because.
That Earl tackle looks very unorthodox at best.
It did, but to be fair, they're saying they cleared it. It looks.
Wilson is asking him here.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bundy actually pulled Suli over the line.
Very smart.
Very smart, and was trying to jackal. Yeah. And because Suli doesn't realize that should be the game now.
I want to see the Ben Earl replay again, though. Just
here it is here. God, it's a very sloppy tackle.
Can I see that again, please? That does not look like both arms.
I don't know. I think
that looks like a Luke Cowan Dickey special when he just like flips the guy with no arms.
Here it is. Here now. This is the angle. Look. Oh, that's not a route.
That's very harsh. If you're Wallabies, you're wrong.
Where are the both arms there? That's an awful decision.
Yeah. And honestly, like maybe they wouldn't have given a penalty try, but if he doesn't make that tackle,
I just cover it. I just cover it.
over
But he's not going to stop. They're not going to stop him. I agree with you, Cian. Yeah. So a good line out by the Lions. So they'd be looking out.
Callaghan as well.
Oh wow! First maul we've seen. Penalty.
Penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant by the Lions. Game management. milk a penalty for your exit.
And very different personnel now in the pack. Is that what?
I think.
Like if Kelleher, Ben Earl, Chesham are all on now, does that make a difference? Obviously.
No, it makes a difference in terms of you got energy, you got power, but I think it's still the same decision. Like you've just had a period where you've been ill-disciplined. There's been a few hours. Go to your nuts and bolts, catch that ball, drive Australia, try and milk a penalty, or kick on the front foot. It's low risk, and when you can milk a penalty from it, you're in clover. So now you'd expect the Lions to actually start getting a little bit of dominance in territory-wise again.
Just want to try you guys. Do you think Joe Schmidt was from Barrywall? Do you think Joe Schmidt was possibly the wrong man for the job, as his MO is execution and excellence? Would a coach with a us against the world mantra? I guess that's why they hired Eddie Jones.
Yeah.
Would that kind of coach have been maybe better for Australia? I don't know.
Look at someone like Campo, who's quite outlandish in some of his comments, would be very strong on that. The Australians need an Australian coach, but certainly
that line-out was very messy. Sorry.
Certainly the Wallabies tend to react better to
Checker.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Now,
ultimately, though, any coach that was going to play in, it's an
I don't think there's any coach in the world who would have gotten a bigger tune or a massive tune out of this team.
No.
That was Kelleher's first line throw, and he actually got done for a dummy throw, but because they won it, he left to play on.
Yeah, that's better. Oh no!
Oh Jesus! No.
Two line-outs.
Oh well,
Conan. The Bundy.
That was too much.
You must see again now. This is driving far mad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, lack of accuracy
and compounding errors.
I guarantee you, he'll come into the post-match on Sky and be unhappy.
Yeah,
he won't be like great with clunky. Yeah,
clunky. Farrell bingo. But they're compounding errors now.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good kick. Really good kick.
Right. No.
No. So unlucky.
It was before the line.
Yeah. So
unlucky.
Little Grubber kick through.
Harry Wilson, to be fair, is having a storm. That was his little touch there.
Best, yeah.
They worked that well.
But it also doesn't say much about their depth that Harry Potter, a fairly middling Premiership player, goes over and then gets into the Test team for a Lions tour.
Yeah.
Fair.
I was listening to the podcast with Ben Youngs and Dan Coles, and they were talking about that, saying like they wouldn't have thought a year ago he'd be starting the Lions Test series, But that's the level. That's the level, really.
Like,
we've
if
seen it.
If he was playing in England, he wouldn't even be near the English squad, let alone a Lions squad. And now he's starting for Australia.
Yeah, but we've seen it. Look at with the warm-up games. There's a lot of average rugby players in Australia at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, if you ever watch Super Rugby on a Saturday, when they're playing each other, the standard is low. When they play the New Zealand teams, they usually get hammered home.
Sure, we've seen. I know they didn't have their full players in the warm-up games, but some of those teams were desperate. Desperate. Strange enough game. It has a feel that like the Lions are way more ahead. I know they're comfortable.
Yeah, you're right.
It feels
20 points is a lot, though.
Yeah, it is, but they should be 30.
It feels like it's a complete non-contest.
There's Bundy now. Exactly what he's brought on for.
Running into Ben Donaldson.
Just a reminder, I know there's a lot of people joining us now. We'll be with Rory O'Connor, who is at Brisbane at Suncorp Stadium. He'll be joining us after the game for our debrief, so make sure to stick around when it's full time.
Really interesting from Rory. Like, doesn't seem like it's a mad atmosphere, does it?
Yeah.
It's maybe we're just not coming across on TV, but do the Lions fans think this is just done? And are the Wallaby fans going, And
we were saying, Bernard, the second test is an MCG, 100,000 capacity. What's that going to actually be next week? Could be 50,000, potentially, depending on how this finishes.
That's not straight.
Not straight, yeah.
Jesus, let it play.
They didn't contest it.
Yeah, but...
And the interesting thing about this performance is that it opens the door for second test changes. Like, it's not as if everyone has been so on there, especially in the back line, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think if Ringrose passes his return to play protocols, I'd be surprised if it's not going to be.
I could see Hansen coming in.
Yeah, Freeman a little bit loose today. Obviously, look, there's still 25 minutes to go, and Farrell loves Mac Hansen.
Yeah, he loves him.
Loves him. I don't know if you saw that interview that he did with him before the tour. It was very funny.
Yeah,
it was.
You
could just see their relationship. It's like a long lost son.
He has his face tattooed on his leg, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Can we space here?
No.
Oh. Bundy.
Wow.
Okay.
Penalty though. God, they're two kicks if in the last few minutes if they just gone to hand tries,
But it's hard to get overly excited at 24-5, Keane. I know what you mean, but like
trying will.
Yeah.
To be honest,
sake of the series.
I think if
Watchalong,
if Australia do score and it goes 24-12, then you just expect the Lions to go and actually,
Yeah.
from the kickoff, just
And
play up
that's
there.
what will piss Farrell off, because it shouldn't take that.
Shouldn't take that, no.
At all.
How would Argentina have fared against this Lions team in a 3-test series? Someone just asked. That's a good question.
Look how well.
They'd be better.
Look how well they played in.
Now
Dublin.
they lost twice to England though.
No, but they've rested
But they
players.
rested loads of players.
Yeah, no,
they've
He's minor players for the rugby championship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a half and half team.
But the first test team was very similar to
I know,
Dublin.
but that's not even. It's similar to the team played in Dublin, but that's not their best team.
True.
Yeah,
I think
he's
they
trying to
do-
manage his players.
I think they do very well.
Yeah,
Very well.
they want a tour, you know.
Yeah,
They want to
yeah.
play Uruguay and Paraguay and stuff. And
I think it's better to fit them into an existing tour as a proper test match than tour the South Americans. I don't think there's an appetite for a full-on tour.
Here we go. Told you.
even from a second test point of view, the Wallabies need to score here. It's good D by Ty Byrne. He filled in on the blind side there just to help Tommy Freeman.
He's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So now it's a battle of the shoulders. Wallabies are, he's isolated. Big hit by Ben Earls.
Porter.
I guess.
High burn again.
Yeah, 6 phases. Only a couple of feet out.
Ooh.
Oh,
They
got
got
it.
it.
Wow, okay, now we're on.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, Farrell will be fuming,
Yeah.
I think, with this.
Yeah, and you're looking at the bench. Has anyone really added value? Bundy's been okay. Yeah, Bundy's been decent, but like no one else has really added massive value thus far.
Oh, I think he'll be fuming, lads, with this. They've been a way better team.
Yeah.
Fair play to Australia, though.
Yeah. But it's not as if the Lions haven't had chances to exit here. Like, so a couple of line outs go astray. Ball goes over the top to Conan. He's on the front foot. He throws a crazy offload to Bundy, which gives a turnover again. So they have had the ball back. Just haven't been able to control it.
And we go back to the Argentina game. That was something Farrell was raging with, that they didn't look after the ball well enough at all. And Conan knows that better than most, being used to the system, you know.
That was a crazy offload he threw.
Yeah.
It's like outside the back door, like it's, and he had made a good burst, you know.
That's what I mean. They kind of fall into a little bit loosey-goosey kind
Yeah,
of.
Okay, it's 12 minutes left. It's 24-12. I'd be shocked from this kickoff if the Lions don't go and have a bit of pressure now and maybe even score again. If they let the Wallabies come back at him again, then you're doubting whether there is a quality difference in him.
He's a good player, Tizano.
Yeah.
It's a good Western force.
Here's
If you're
Marcus Smith is on.
Marcus Smith on for Freeman Russell.
Oh, big call.
But like, was this part of the plan? Like, he hasn't played 10 on this tour. So like, I'm just a little perplexed as to why.
I think they've been disappointed with Finn Smith's.
Yeah.
Like, not he's a young kid, whatever, but I think they expected him to be a little bit
better.
And then obviously, with Blair Kinghorn out, Marcus is a viable option at 15. Well, compared to what they have with Hansen being out as well.
Big show faith throw him in now.
Yeah. So now all you're looking for the Lions is to good defensive set, make them kick it away. So the Wallabies are trying to play. So
you want this? You want a 31-12 final if you're Andy Farrell now. You want them to manage it out and 100%. Get one more score.
Then you're actually happy because you've had that period of.
And you can at least have the stick on them during the week and say, look, we won, but you guys were shite basically in the second half.
So so now the Lions are happy. They've got a scrum on the halfway line. Freeman does enough to win that there. At worst, then a good carry. It's not a great carry, but it's smart to just play. Not take any risks.
Couldn't shift them.
Yeah, so our Lions are going to box kick back in.
Ireland.
No, sorry.
The mass slips.
Gibson Park. That's an average kick.
Freeman wins the scraps.
Yeah, now they have it.
Oh. He had overran that as well.
Yeah, he ran
well to catch that.
Well,
it's elaborate.
Even Gibson Park is
That's why Will Stewart
they're
there.
all losing their plot.
3-pointer crucial here, even to put it to 15 points.
No, they've actually created a bit of space here. Tommy, look.
Did he try to offload that? That was just a brain-dead offload. Yeah. Around the corner with a defender there.
They're just not looking after the ball.
Himself and Hugh Jones cut. I've already dropped them for my second test team.
Even Ty Burns' pass there, lovely pass, but you're kind of thinking just go direct.
But like, is this like this? The degree of difficulty of that pass is like so high.
That's naive.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes to go in a first Lions test.
There you go.
Yeah. Farrell just cut the Farrell there saying, what the F are you doing with that?
Yeah, but this is where you, like, are the messages going on to the players, and why aren't, if they aren't, why aren't listening?
Do they need to be told not to throw that, Bernard? Like,
no, but they
look at that stat, 76% possession.
If you need to tell Tommy Freeman not to throw that, then he shouldn't be in the team, to be honest.
I agree. But the problem is with the philosophy, which is go play, be brave, but there's also be smart. Yeah.
Few comments. Stephen Elliott saying Jorgensen's been electric. Yeah, has been good.
Yeah.
Quilly asking, does Ringrose make it into this team next week? I think he does, to be honest, over Jones. Oh, Jesus. Just what you don't want.
So Wallabies try and run, kick out of their own 22 and don't execute the pass. Lions get a gift of possession just on the 22.
I'd take the scrum.
No, they're trying to play again. That's good. Good latch by Porter on
Stewart has been busy.
Conan around the corner.
Good carry.
I would have liked the scrum there, though.
Yeah, but not. Just look at. Gibson
Park. How do you not hold him?
So now they're 10 yards out.
Tyburn. Now they're going up the guts.
Yeah, he's definitely man of the match. Definitely man of the match.
Oh, good carry. Expecting more of this.
Stewart has been very good.
5 yards out.
Come on.
They're getting over the gain line every carry here.
Oh, that was a big tackle. Who was that? Is it Frost?
Buddy wants it.
Oh, he almost knocked that on.
Oh, he rises so
well. Did so
well. Now they're under the post.
McRight.
Oh, I thought maybe that was a turnover. So I just take the tree. Yeah, just take the tree.
Man.
Take the tree.
Why? Like, they have advantage. Like, surely you can play more than that.
Oh, no, yeah, but no. Look, in fairness, it's sloppy by a Toje.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah,
they had a good chance to finish the game with a potential try there. I think in rugby, there's, like I mentioned in the first half,
this has to take me a 3-pointer, by the way.
Yeah.
So many teams just don't.
Yeah. No, of course.
They don't make a use of advantage at all. Like, I think Itoje, Will, was thinking exactly like you're there at Scran, would just take the tree. But you could have potentially scored a try out wide there.
But that's game over, though, the 3-pointer. So, like, I can see, I do take your point, though. Like,
it hasn't been, in terms of quality, it hasn't been the highest quality.
Second half, particularly.
It's a shite second half. No, think about what our halftime chat we were saying who's played well. I feel like when Rudd comes on now for the post-match debrief, it'll probably be a little bit of a glass half full and glass half empty kind of chat.
Yeah. Yeah, but all particularly because of the quality of what Australia put together. Bar that little bit of a fight there, they haven't been that good.
It was over.
Like even this penalty's coming off the back of Australia
knocking on
outside of 22 under no pressure.
Because as we said, we saw Schmidt giving the message at halftime. Sheehan scores right at the start, and that was a great try. But they switched off completely from then on.
Have they given man the match to Sheehan, have they?
It has to be
Burns.
No, I think they're showing him. They're showing him, I think.
Okay.
He was good though.
They're still checking out Tom Curry's wrist behind on the bench. That could be one to watch.
I think he's generally had a wrist issue. He's had heavy strapping on his wrist the whole time.
That could open, obviously they have plenty of options there, but could open the door for Josh or Henry Pollock.
Or if they don't pick Jack Morgan.
It's Jack Morgan, I think Morgan.
Sorry, apologies, Jack
Morgan. There'll be riots, I think, in the valleys.
Yeah, to be fair. Jack Morgan's very unlucky. Gibson Park on off now.
Alex Mitchell has played in all 7 games so far.
Yeah.
He's really had to earn that $100,000. Some of the other lads have only played like a few minutes.
Could be a bit more when you get the win bonus.
Good money, isn't it? Like, geez, I can see why certain players were minding themselves.
Yeah. I did notice though when Jamie Osborne got called off, the wording.
Yeah, training panelist.
So he doesn't get the $100,000. Is that where we're to?
I'd want my lawyer to look at that agreement.
Yeah.
But if he plays on Tuesday,
Well, the third test could be Jamie Osborne, Thomas Clarkson. Give all the lads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lads should have the weekend of beer in Sydney if they win the first 2 tests.
Farrell is thinking, I'll give them game time now ahead of the World Cup. Over here.
Yeah.
Tom Clarkson would love a start.
Yeah, Wilson put a little kick in behind there.
Nice with Tom Wright.
He's been really good. I've always been impressed with him. He was brilliant in the Aviva in November. But he's actually he's kicking a lot today now. But like, he's actually been one of their few players who
stood up,
especially up front. Like their pack have been completely anonymous outside of him and McWright a little bit.
Yeah.
In and out in bursts, isn't
like
he?
1 to 6 has been completely no shows for Australia.
Yeah. They need to roll out Valentini and Skelton.
Yeah, I think that would make a big difference. Because at least if Skelton is picked next week, we have the kind of appearance of the big La Rochelle baddie is back.
Like that's
we can at least build it up. And
Skelton puts fear into a position for a reason.
Oh God.
Bundy's been busy, to be fair.
Good play by Jorgensen.
He's been good. Who heard the commentator said it earlier. He's been good.
Oh, knock on, no. I told you. Penalty advantage.
Gee, it's so sloppy. Paul Gillen says, a pissed off Farrell is even worse for the tour and Australia. He will drive for a thumping in Test 2 now. And there's something to that. Like, he can really go in and...
It's easy to say that, but like, I mean...
But are the players capable of delivering it?
Yeah, like, I mean, Bernard, you made the point early on that the biggest test that they faced was Argentina. And I know, look, it was the first time they were missing the Leinster players and all that, but you can't really read anything into the games that they've been playing.
You can't.
They've been so awful, and this hasn't been...
Can we even read into this? Like?
This hasn't been that good as a complete performance at all. It's been so far off it.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to be looking back on this and say, the Lions legends of 2025?
No.
I doubt it.
No, 100% not. I think for them to have legendary status, they needed to be like...
Squeaky clean.
Yeah, just like the dominant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like 27-12 and a lot of errors. It's not like...
And I think like the excuse, like they've been
even
together.
You can tell by looks like Farrell. You can tell by looking at his face. Like, he doesn't look like a man who has a test in hand.
They've been together for a few weeks now, so the tries that they've left behind are kind of inexcusable at this stage. We're kind of giving them a free pass all along.
Yeah.
Hugh Jones handed off there on McDermott. Yeah. I'd already dropped him, so that's immaterial in my head.
McRoy. Hugo misses him.
Jeez, that's shocking.
That's a bad missed tackle. It's like the Huertas one.
Yeah. So whatever about all the errors with the ball, he'll want him to have a good defensive stand here.
Mindset,
you know, and that hasn't started well with Hugo missing a one-on-one. Oh, it's going
that's a try.
Wow.
That's 27-19 in this game. That's like Farrell will be spitting, and rightly so.
Yeah. And massive opportunity missed for the bench to make an impact.
100%. I read through the bench last time. Like Kelleher, Porter, Stewart, Chesham, Earl, Mitchell, Smith, Aki.
Yeah.
Stewart's been good. You asked for more from Porter. We haven't seen it.
No, we haven't. No.
Chesham has been untidy. Earl has been a bit untidy.
I heard the line-out's been a bit iffy.
Kelleher, the line's been great. Bundy's been okay.
Earl, we haven't seen him getting on the ball.
Oh yeah, and like he was lucky not to get potentially sent.
So this tackle here has shown us. It's just like it's actually very average attack.
Not like Hugo. I know he had that one that you
said in the first half. Like they're running up their own arse and then it's one missed tackle, and all of a sudden
they're not filling.
Ben Earl steps out there. Look, creates the gap. Like, is that a systematic thing that he thinks he's supposed to be on the fringes? Because no pillar there at all. Like, I mean, I think we have to give credit to the Wallabies. I certainly thought when Sheehan scored after half time, this
100%.
blowout.
Like they've kept going in a game which has been dead for.
And there's enough in this from a Wallabies point of view to
for second test.
For second test.
Yeah, if they name a team on Thursday with Valentini and Skelton in it,
not just that. I think he'll flip the halfbacks.
Start McDermott
and Donaldson, and that'll just give it a lift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like psychologically, he'll say, "Look, good lads, we've only played this is our second match. We actually showed at the end. You know, we can dominate possession. We can ask questions of this defence. We have more. We've a halfback combination are still up to play. Good hit by Bundy. Jesus,
Bundy's a good tackle.
22 tackles from Ty Byrne. It just flashed up there. Top tackler.
I could see a very different 23 next week for the Lions. Like I feel like there's a lot of guys, especially on the bench, one or two starters who are not going to be safe this week.
I don't think it's an Andy Farrell type thing to I think the centres will be different if Ringrose is fit. Mac, maybe.
Jesus.
So, 25 seconds left. Lions are deep in the straight.
Looking for the final whistle, really, aren't they?
They're limping over the line, really.
This is a really strange one, isn't it? Like,
Jessam, a guy who we didn't mention, I mean, he's a guy who was looking at start, hasn't really.
He's been poor.
Ooh.
Oh, lads.
There you go. Yeah.
Kind of sums him up a little bit, you know, like a lot of intent, but final pass.
Are they going to play the line out?
I think the ball was
in play.
Yeah, so I think
it's important for the Lions to finish this. Like, you know, like this will really tell you where their heads at. Yeah. This is like, and he'll be really watching this one now.
Oh, he's not happy.
The line out's been shocking in the second half.
Clunky, lads. Put it in your bingo card.
Yeah.
And he read the right act after the Pumas, and long enough has passed now where I say they're going to get it.
Sure.
They're going to get it again.
Porter was blowing there. I mean, they look tired. They have to do a lot of defending, I guess.
This is where they need to get the drill right, particularly for Kelleher.
Turnover, that sums it up, doesn't it? That completely sums it up.
Yeah.
Wow, the line out has not been good in the second half. They want to play.
Oh, Wilson doesn't. He kicks it off.
Fair enough.
Take our medicine.
He's right. 100%.
Yeah.
Because I think from a mindset point of view, the Lions could have buried the Wallabies.
100%.
Could have had this series done. I still think they're going to win the series easy, but like now the Wallabies, they've enough in that to go.
Yeah.
Well, lads, we're going to be so much better next week. Yeah. And they're not.
Look who we have to bring back in. The Wallabies will be saying, you know.
So now it's time for our Lions debrief on the Indoor Sport Watch Along. The Lions were 27 points to 19 winners over the Wallabies. Will Slattery here, delighted to be joined by Bernard Jackman and Cian Tracey. And one last reminder that our rugby coverage on Indoor Sport is brought to you by Energia. Energia sponsors rugby in Ireland at all levels, at grassroots with the Energia AIL, and as official energy partner to Leinster, Connacht and the Irish men's and women's teams. The Energia Rugby for All initiative supports inclusion, welcoming everyone of all abilities to participate in the game. To learn more about Energia's rugby partnerships and find out about their exclusive home energy offer for rugby fans, you can visit energia.ie/rugby. So what do we make of that, Bernard? Half-time we were talking up various performers, especially in the pack. We were thinking with that bench, the Lions could kind of kick on and win comprehensively. At the end, they were kind of chasing their tail a bit. Australia made things difficult for them, but they made life difficult for themselves. We could see from Andy Farrell's reaction, he was absolutely fuming. Like, what's your kind of big picture takeaway now that we've finished this first test? Lions have won, but yet we feel a bit unhappy.
It's a complete reverse of how probably we predicted the game would go, because we thought the Wallabies would start, really accurately, really well drilled, bring intensity, all that passion, emotion, being a home team in a Lions Test series, the pressure they're under, and the Lions were actually. They had it too easy in the first half, and the Lions looked really comfortable. They weren't as accurate as they needed to be, but they were on the front foot. And then we were saying at half time, well, look at the bench, they're going to come on and just steamroll them. And actual fact, the second half went really pear-shaped. Like, they scored the first try of the second half from a Wallaby turnover, and after that, for 20 minutes,
really poor second
half. To be honest
half.
with you, not even 20 minutes, really the whole second half. Like, they kicked 3 points near the end to seal the game. But in general, I think it was a pretty bang average performance when you take into account how poor Australia were, bar showing a little bit of heart.
The Lions lost the second half 14-10. I mean, I think Farrell will be absolutely raging with that alone, particularly because we mentioned in the first half the 3 potential tries that they left behind them. They didn't look after the ball. A lot of actually the same mistakes that they made against Argentina all that long ago, the game in Dublin. And I think certainly I was inclined to give them a free pass over the last few weeks because, they're still getting together. But I think at this stage in the first test, you'd be expecting a hell of a lot more. Certainly I was, and I think internally, Bernard, I think their coaches will be as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in Roy O'Connor, our man in Australia. Rud, we were kind of having a debrief here. Are you taking a glass half full approach? The Lions have won the first test, the series is up and running, or the glass half empty approach of they had their foot in the neck of an Australia team who were kind of at 6s and 7s, and by the end of it, there was kind of a role reversal, and the Lions looked kind of with very little bench impact. The error count was racking up, and while they're still massive favourites to win this series and probably win a whitewash, not the kind of performance Andy Farrell would have wanted, not the feeling I expect he would have had thinking if he was going into a post-match interview having won the first test.
Well, I think you can't forget the first half and how good it was. you know, like they were phenomenal for 40 minutes. And I thought they looked exhausted towards the end. I think Joe Schmidt picked a fast bench to come on and keep I think his plan would have been to keep it tight for 60 minutes, then bring on his power carriers in the front row, the 2 back rows who came on and had an influence with Tisano scoring the try, and take McDermott to change the tempo of the game. But unfortunately for Joe, the starters let him down. They were awful. And part of that was the Lions were so good in pretty much every aspect of the game, apart from probably the scrum. They were phenomenal. But the Lions just didn't let them play. And I think Australia looked very nervous. They looked like a team whose 10 had never played at this level before. They couldn't win any collisions until their bench started coming on. And it took them about an hour until they got Suaalii into the game. And then we saw all the stuff that you kind of hope to see in terms of a contest, because they were fast, they were impressive in the last 20 minutes, they were winning collisions after collisions, they were backing up moments, which they hadn't been able to do for an hour. So, like, I wouldn't let the last 20 minutes colour the Lions' performance too much, because they have just done what they came here to do. They've won the game, they're 1-0 up in the series. You know, there's no bonus points on offer here, there's no points difference on offer. You just need to win the game. Taking the points, you know, was a sensible decision towards the end. But yeah, Australia have a bit of momentum, I think, off the back of how they finished. I think Joe Schmidt has massive selection decisions. I think he'll feel if he can get Valentini and Skelton back, that will narrow the power deficit to some degree, but I'm not sure it'll be enough.
Yeah, in fairness to us, we've just come off doing the live second half, so that was really fresh in our minds. But Rudd Byrne, I think, is right to bring it back to first principles, which is this is a test series. The Lions got a win on the board. The first half was extremely dominant. Not as clinical as they would have liked. You know, we had the Hugh Jones stance, the cross kick to McCarthy. But remember, all the names we were rattling off from the pack in the first half. You know, Furlong, Sheehan, Gange, McCarthy, the whole pack. You don't need to stop with anyone really. And that was the platform from which they really kind of put the game to bed early enough.
Yeah, no, look, I can agree with Rudd about the Wallabies bench and the impact they made. But I would say if you put both benches on paper, I struggle to see what Wallaby sub, maybe bar Tate McDermott, should be on the Lions bench, if you get me. So that's my fear or my criticism will be of the Lions. Like, I totally agree with Rhodes, they look tired at the end, but they shouldn't be tired. I mean, they're match hardened. You know, they've had time under their belt. They've been on tour a long time now. The Wallabies are the ones who probably needed that game, and the bench have to take responsibility for not coming on and matching that Wallaby intensity, which I agree they won that battle, and Joe Schmidt obviously tried to have them ready for the last quarter, but God, the Lions shouldn't be getting blown away in the second half by that bench, I don't think.
Yeah, Keane, because we were talking about it, like you would have expected more from Porter, from Kelleher, Ollie Chesham and Ben Earl were fairly untidy. We did think Will Stewart added a fair bit when he came on, and Bundyaki was quite busy as well. But yeah, that was the real strength. At half time in particular, we were sitting here thinking, oh, with the scoreline as it is, that Lions bench, this could be a 25-30 point margin potentially, and it didn't materialise like that. And
they started brilliantly in the second half. Dan Sheehan finished that try.
Great try, yeah.
Really well, and they kind of went back to what they were doing in terms of being belligerent and running over them. And I disagree with Rudd in that it was at 20 minutes. I thought it was the majority of the second half, really, that I thought was pretty poor. And the guys who you're mentioning there, Will, bringing off the bench, all had a legitimate chance of starting. The likes of Chesson, I think, would have felt really hard done by that he wasn't starting. Andrew Porter, the line-out kind of fell to pieces when Ronan Kelleher, I'm not saying it was all his fault, but it wasn't very good, and they just didn't get that oomph at all. And like Bernard has said, it was the Wallabies bench, which isn't exactly stacked and fearful. So I know we're going to hear from Andy Farrell obviously in the next few minutes. I'd be stunned if he's not going to use the word clunky, which he tends to use.
Well, that's a banger.
But it was a very clunky performance. There was some outstanding bits in the first half. They should have been out of sight, but ultimately they weren't. And I don't think at this stage of the tour that they should have left as many, 3 tries in the first half behind them. A lot of passes. They didn't look after the ball well enough at all. Jack Conan probably summoned that up in the second half when he makes the break and then tries to throw the miracle offload. All the kind of stuff that I think will absolutely wreck Andy Farrell's head.
Rud, one thing I would like to get your thoughts on, because we had a good debate about this when you were going through the possible team, was the flankers selection, Tadhg Beirne and Tom Curry. And I was saying, God, they really feel like preordained selections. It's a massive day for them. They were both excellent. Tadhg Beirne, I'm not sure who got the official man of the match, but we were all saying it should definitely be Tadhg Beirne if it wasn't. And Tom Curry, likewise, was so physical, was everywhere. Huge day for both of those, especially Tadhg Beirne, who was, from the word go, getting that turnover penalty after, 30-odd seconds and getting 3 points on the board, was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, the two of them justified their selections. Like, they were the two big calls from Andy Farrell. And I remember Joe Schmidt saying to Rob Kearney before Chicago that you need a big one today. It looked like the two of them felt like they needed a big one. They were fully aware that they were being scrutinised from the minute go. Like, what was it? Beirne was 60 seconds in or even less, he wins a breakdown turnover, sets the tone, or a breakdown penalty, sets the tone for his team. He read that line out in the second half where he did the choke tackle with Dan Sheehan. He knew what the Wallabies, it was like they'd been watching training, because he knew exactly where Nick Champion, the Crepney, was going to be. They'd obviously done a lot of homework, which you'd expect, but it was almost too telepathic. It was like, did they have spies in the camp? Razzie be proud of that one. Like, it was. But he was everywhere. His work rate was unbelievable, and in fairness, Curry was exceptional as well. Like, I thought they got away with a couple though. Like, Curry should have been sin-binned, and I thought Luke Cowan-Ducky, it was a Luke Cowan-Ducky style tackle from Ben Earl. I thought it was a shocking tackle.
Even the replays were like, we were watching the replays on Sky in front of us. Like that, we didn't see the arms. Like, Ben O'Keefe was stressing, he saw arms. We didn't see them, I don't think.
And I know it's a comprehensive win, but if the Lions do go down to 14 men for 10 minutes, then the Wallabies get momentum from that. And the crowd were just so it was quiet. Like, the crowd were so desperate to have something to get behind. And they knew, even when they did get a couple of tries at the end, you knew it was all too late. I think the criticism you guys have of the Lions, I understand it to a degree, but like, after 10 minutes, this game felt like it was done. And I think that seeps into the players sometimes. And I know Andy Farrell won't necessarily accept that because he's a high performance kind of guy, but I'd say they felt like after 5 minutes after the start of the second half, what more could we do here? We've blown these lads away. I know that they should have had more points on the board, but maybe they blew themselves out a little bit. And yes, the bench, I'd say a few of those lads will be nervous about selection this week, because the beauty of a line squad is you have a load of really good players to bring in. But the first 45 was so comprehensive. They were kind of trying to keep, I think they were pretty conservative energy to some degree, trying to keep the Wallabies at arm's length to a degree. And their defence was pretty good. It took an awful lot of effort for the Wallabies to score those tries. So I wouldn't be as down as you guys have been. I think ultimately, I think that first half, it unfolded quite like the Gabba in 2001, a game I wrote about today, that the Lions had this blistering performance, and thereafter the Wallabies have almost back-ended a little bit momentum at the end of the game, which potentially sets up the second test. But it's just hard to be convinced by these Wallabies. And, the 2001 team were world champions, full of world-class players who went to another World Cup final in 2003. These lads, they're just not as good. They're not as powerful. They don't have the cattle to do it. So, I think the Lions, they almost eased up knowing they were home and hosed, and paid a bit of a price for it without ever really looking like they were in proper trouble.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that theory from Rudd? I suppose I look at it and I say, well, if the Wallabies were a little more buttoned up to begin the game, how does that first half go? Like, are the Lions as dominant if the Wallabies don't make so many errors in the first 10 minutes to give them so much impetus? Or do you agree with Rudd and do you think the game was done at 45 and what happened after that, while we're kind of maybe drawing big conclusions, perhaps it's not as big a deal as we've thought?
I think what would frustrate me about that second half after Dan Sheehan try is like the Lions' inability to have positive moments back to back. So even they started to struggle. The game's getting a bit loose. They're starting to give away some penalties. They survive a couple of goal line drives and get opportunities to release pressure. And then, for example, the Bundy Aki penalty, where probably should have been a yellow card maybe against Ben Earl. So that's a let off. They kick up the field. They drive and win a penalty, and then they just need one more positive moment. But from that penalty to touch, they blow the line out, and next thing they're back in their 22. They get a bit of forward momentum. Freeman tries a crazy offload. Before that, Jack Conan tried a crazy offload. So they did get the ball back, Rudds, but they just never really put two positive moments together. And I think with a team with so much experience, and you can sense momentum swinging against you, but they weren't able to just pull the handbrake. And if the Wallabies are better next week, that's a worry. You know what I mean? Because the Lions have way more experience, so you would expect them to be able to manage that test match momentum swings way better than they did today. And they're definitely a better team on paper. They're a better team on the field than the Wallabies. But I'm expecting this Lions team, if they want to be legends of Lions, to go and blow the Wallabies away over the 3 tests. Right? They've won today, but 2 and 3 they need to be, I would say, dominant.
But there was a blowout that was on the cards there today, and I think that's why I'd be a little more critical than what Rudd is, because they played very well, like outstanding for 45 minutes, even allowing for the tries that they left behind them. But they could have killed the series here. I know not officially, but they could have broken the Wallabies' spirit here. I think there was a massive hammering on the cards, and
Australia covered the handicap in the end. It was 8, but like you wouldn't have, because it was 8 points in the end of the, or 9.
That you were talking about, Bernard, has actually crept into Ireland's play as well, that when you're compounding error after error and suddenly they're building up and the opposition team is growing in confidence. And I think that's what certainly I'd be disappointed with, and I can imagine that Farrell will be raging.
Just on the Farrell point, I'll ask you this, Rudd. Like, when we talk about these mistakes in the second half, we're always like, Andy Farrell will be fuming. What does Andy Farrell think? Like, I asked Andy Farrell after the Argentina game, did you have a good game tonight? Like, for some reason I feel like we always talk about it as if it's all on the players. Like, Andy Farrell is the head coach, he prepares the team. Like, does he not take some responsibility for how the team performs across 80 minutes? I feel like we're always kind of looking at it through the prism of, oh, Andy won't be happy with that, or Andy will have a word with the guys. But is there not some responsibility for Farrell in all this as well?
They won. They won 27-19. Like, the Australia, and it was 27-12 until 2 minutes to go. I think I'd be looking at Joe Schmidt and the way his team played, because, you know, Andy Farrell's team came out, like, he's put together a team with 3 different nations in the team, and they produced a really cohesive, dominant performance for 45 minutes, won the game. And yeah, it wasn't great for the second half, and yeah, they didn't cover the spread, but I never really expected Australia to be that. I never expected a blowout here. Yeah, I think that yes, they should be winning the series. Maybe I'm a little bit hopeful because I'm over here, and I don't want the Lions to win 3-0, winning 40-0 each week, because that does nothing for me. And I want 3 contests. I want these. I'd remember these far more if they were proper games rather than like the kind of exhibitions of Lions rugby. So, you know, I don't. Yeah, I think you have to blame the players when the bench come on and they don't perform in that way. Like, that's. I don't think Andy Farrell's responsible for, you know, Ben Earl's tackle technique on the line when he got away with that one, or, like, I think they look very well prepared. They look like their plan was excellent. Some of the stuff, their pre-planned stuff, came off brilliantly. Their line out was, towards the end it creaked a bit, but it was pretty slick. It was better than Ireland's line out has been for the last couple of years. You know, the score off and off the top for Itoje. A lot of the stuff that Farrell does have responsibility for, I think, worked well. And yeah, I think it was more. I think there is an element. Like, you have to remember, it's the end of our season and it's the start of the Australian season, so they are fresher, and they will probably get fresher and get better as the series goes on in that space. Whereas the finish line is there for them as well. So I do think that fatigue is probably a little bit more understandable in that way too. So maybe the Wallabies will see an in through that as well. But yeah, in terms of Andy Farrell's performance, I think he had a pretty good day. Like, I think ultimately they did what they came here to do. And yeah, they didn't win by 40 points and blast the Wallabies away. I never really expected them to do that. I think they should win the series 3-0, but I expect there to be bumps on the road, bumps along the road within that series, and you're never going to just steamroll a team on home soil like the Wallabies, limited as they are. And they always were going to have a purple patch. It's just they left it way, way too late to have their purple patch. And when they had their purple patch and they got the right players on the ball, they didn't look like as bad a side as they looked in the first 20 when they were just clueless. It was really so poor. And I'd say Joe will have nightmares about team selection, how nervous the team looked, how nervous Tom Lionel looked, how they couldn't catch a cold, their set piece creaked. Like, there's way more on their side that they got none of what they wanted to get out there, whereas I think the Lions got a lot of what they wanted to get out there. And yeah, it was messy towards the end, but
yeah. So, Rhodes, I think probably why certainly I'm being negative is because I agree with all you said there, that Australia were so poor and yet we didn't cover the spread. But what I want to know is, like, part of the reason Lions tours are hard is because you got to go into the cauldron, and it was very hard for us on TV to get a sense of how intense that atmosphere was. It didn't come across at all. Like, Suncorp is where the Wallabies say it's like their home ground, right? I mean, like, would you say it was a cauldron there? You know, did that even make it more disappointing that the Lions weren't even able to go and push on? Like, would you say the Wallabies next week, MGM, it's going to be ferocious, or are the Wallaby fans maybe doubting this team?
The Wallaby fans were here in hope rather than expectation. Like, I met a couple of guys I played with, 30, 20 years ago in Belleville from our Brisbane locals, and they were just like, fingers crossed we get a performance. There's no expectation here. And I thought that might liberate the team a little bit. The crowd was, I'd say, I'm being generous to the Wallabies, about 60-40 Lions. It's one of those stadiums, and all the games have been like that here. Like, they absolutely bombard you. You can probably hear it in the background. They bombard you with noise. So even before the game, there was no chance for the fans to build an atmosphere because it was just all hammered at them. And then once that stopped, it was quite silent for a lot of it. It was quite passive, and it definitely wasn't a cauldron, albeit if the Wallabies had got those tries a little bit earlier, because the Australian fans are mad to get behind their team and make it, get involved in it. They had nothing to cheer for the best part of an hour, and it was the MCG is going to be a very different event. It's not sold out. It's about 80,000 sold, I believe. I'm not sure there's going to be a surge of Australian support in the next week on the basis of what we saw today, and we know that Melbourne is not rugby country, so it hasn't been the most difficult tour, and this wasn't the most difficult test match the Lions have ever faced. But I think I thought their first half performance, that's what I kind of have come away from with. They kind of silenced, they cut out the atmosphere, they made the crowd not a factor, and Sexton talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, Rod, I was just going to say, like you say, that you never expected the Lions to kind of blow the Wallabies away. And while I agree with your point in principle, they did blow them away, and they left 3 tries behind them in the first half. I'm thinking of the Joe McCarthy one, if the kick had been a little more sympathetic from Finn Russell. I'm thinking of Hugh Jones at the line. So really and truly, the blowout was actually there for them, and it was the Lions' own errors, and I think that's maybe why we're being a little...
We feel like we have very different perspectives on this. It's actually interesting.
Rod's right, though. It's because I think, and I've been not guilty of it, but I think when you're there at a game, and it is a very different sense of it than watching back here, like Bernard said, we can't get a sense of the atmosphere, but...
Rod's usually a guy who's good to pour cold water onto something. That's why I'm surprised that we're the ones who seem to be the miserable one, the misery guts.
I'm hoping all the YouTube commenters usually call me like negative and stop being negative. Will flip today.
Well, you have another 2 weeks over there, Rod, and I know what you mean. Like, you're hoping that like the series is still alive, but I think, like, just go back to the point I threw to you there. I think a hammering was on the card today, as what the Lions played that well and would have broken the Wallabies for the rest of the series, whereas now they have a glimmer of hope with potentially Valentini and Will Skelton, which again is great for the series, but from a Lions point of view, they really could have laid down a marker today and they didn't.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. And like, you were looking at the scoreline when it was, what was it, when Max Jorgensen scored, and got, how are they still only a score? How is there score in this? But yeah, and that's been a team across it, and it's been a team for Ireland, let's face it, for the last while as well. James Lowe's is finished, like that one where he once again kind of mucked up on the line. That's been a bit of a weird trend for him, because he's usually such a good finisher. And I guess the way they'll spin it and the way they'll look at it is like, we created this many opportunities. If we take them, there's no second half surge, and it's gone. Yeah, they should have won by more, absolutely. And I think that they'll look at that and go, yeah, as I just said, like, they'll look at that and go, right, well, all we have to do is kind of tidy up this and this. Whereas the Wallabies are going, they have to fix so much in the next 6 or 7 days, and the Lions have quite easy fixes in theory. That, but yeah, there's been trends across. Like, there haven't been that impressive across the whole tour, but they haven't had to be because it hasn't been the most difficult tour, and they've been getting away with stuff. And maybe that second half is a bit of a wake up call to say, like, you're not that good. You need to put this team away, because they left them just about in it. Never really felt like they were going to come back and win it. I genuinely felt like it was over after 10 minutes, and we were kind of playing for time from then in, and that was down to the way the Lions turned up and played. And I think that's maybe I've been carried away by that first 20, and their complete and utter dominance in that first half. I just never felt like their errors were going to cost them. So maybe I've breezed over them a bit too much.
Yeah, well, once the Cian try was scored, certainly, like we were saying, we could see Joe Schmidt on TV here giving like all the messages at halftime. Cian scores right at the start of the second half. Then it was game over. It was just frustrating to watch as we were going minute by minute and like kind of passing through every single error live. And maybe that's why we're a bit more fixated. So, Bernard, let's go back to some of the positives. Like, who were some of the guys when the platform was built that really impressed you?
Genge, Sheehan, Furlong, McCarthy was good. Byrne, Curry was excellent. I think Gibson Park, when the Lions had a bit of ball, yeah, he was excellent again. His passing range. Finn, yeah,
his box kicking was magnificent in the first half.
Yeah.
It gave them so many ins off the back of. I'm in the back of the stand here. This is the back wall or the top deck of the stand, and some of the kicks got higher than me. Like they were unbelievable hang time for the chasers.
Yeah, and again, his quality of his box kicking led to the Lions winning the aerial contest, which again was an area that Australia had to dominate to have a chance. And that first half in particular, the Lions won all the aerial contests and the scraps. I think Keenan, he had some good reads defensively, but he'll regret that missed tackle. Late in the game. Tupolatu, yeah, and Jones, they were dangerous, but they didn't always convert it into points. Obviously, Hugh Jones has that disallowed try, which I think he'll regret, and I think Ringrose might come in next week if he's back fit. But yeah, I think they're the guys who stood out for me, to be honest.
I think the point you make about the box kicking battle early on is a good one, because that was a key part of the game when it was in its infancy. And if you go back to Argentina, Cian, remember Andy Farrell in the press room afterwards lost the scraps, lost the aerial battle, and he was absolutely fuming. When the Lions built that platform, they actually were really good in that area. And while we can point to the second half when it maybe got away from them, when the game was there to be won, I suppose the problems from night one were rectified, and they were actually really strong in that area, I thought.
Yeah, and I think that's what will frustrate Andy Farrell, because they would have set out their game plan, which they did, by picking a pack to bully that powder puff, let's be fair, Wallabies pack without the likes of Skelton and Valentini. And when they went route one through the likes of Genge, who I thought was outstanding, Joe McCarthy, who was brilliant, obviously he went off early in the second half. Hopefully Rudd will obviously get an update from Andy Farrell, but hopefully he's not too back. So he was excellent. So when they played to their game plan, they were outstanding, but there was times where they just tried to play a little looser. Like Freeman, I thought, had a couple of loose moments as well.
The offload in the second half.
Trying to throw loose offloads. And then you see with the difference when Bundyaki comes on. I thought Tuipulotu had lots of good moments, but he's still not as direct, I think, as Andy Farrell wants your 12 to be. And if Ringrose is fit, fingers crossed he is, I'd be very surprised.
Do you think it's a package deal? Like it's either they either both come in, or
I think Andy Farrell is looking at it as a package deal. I'd say he was very tempted to start Bundyaki today, because generally when Bundyaki is fit, he starts for Ireland. I know he came off the bench in Cardiff during the Six Nations and was outstanding, but he's such an Andy Farrell type player. I think the temptation would have been seriously strong, but I don't think as the 10, 12, 13 it was as slick as certainly we've seen at times for Scotland. So in that regard, I wouldn't be surprised if Ringrose is fit next week to see Bundy and Ringrose, because I think they would have went that way if Ringrose had been fit today.
Rudd, I know you have to go to talk to Andy Farrell shortly, so let's give you one last question. So obviously, to sum it up from your perspective, you're coming out of it with a fairly positive attitude, and you're kind of thinking the job was there to win the first test. They kind of had that done by 45 minutes, and the rest of it, maybe we're kind of reading too much into it. Is that a fair summation?
Yeah, well, I think I came into this thinking this was Australia's best chance, and they completely fluffed their lines. And I thought there were spells in that first half in particular where the Lions put together everything that Andy Farrell's been working towards since he got this team over to Portugal in what was it, about 6 weeks ago. And when they put that together, they looked incredibly impressive. And I guess there's also the element of like the whole thing, the whole package, like being around Brisbane today, the number of fans, the whole if the whole Lions thing coming together was a pretty impressive sight to see. We know that test series are curious things, and Akeem was in New Zealand, what was it, 3 years ago, when the Lions Ireland got beaten out the gate by the All Blacks in the first test and came back and were unbelievable a week later. And Joe does have a couple of levers to pull. Like I think I would expect Valentini and Skelton to come back next week. I'd get Corey Toole onto the wing and get some gas into that back three, because that's not a quick Lions team. I think they need speed. Like we saw what Corey Toole did to them in the Brumbies game. He went for Jorgensen and Potter, And like, they got the try off the aerial game, but they didn't really get much change out of the Lions in the air. And maybe they need to go for I think we saw maybe a template of what they need to do in that last 20 minutes. I think I'd start Angus Bell and Billy Pollard. Like, they're the two players I was kind of referring to in terms of coming on with that athletic profile. Like, Pollard's, the NRL teams are trying to sign him the whole time. He's like, they're big boys. You see them coming on. They are big athletic players. They win collisions. Bell's going to do some damage for Ulster next season. You could see it when he came on. Tom Hooper was good. So he has a few things. But like, if Farrell brings in Bundy and Gary Ringrose, puts Mack on the bench, or puts Mack in 14 ahead of Freeman, changes up maybe his back row to try and just freshen things up. Like, he's got so many options. McCarthy, I don't know if you picked up, I was looking at my binoculars. I was trying to see what was up with him. He seemed to be not limping. He was getting ice on his foot and ankle earlier on, but it looked like he was in pretty good nick, so we'll get more on that. But like, Farrell has so many different buttons to push. He could put Porter in to start and unleash Genge off the bench if he thinks bench is an issue. So there's I think Australia will be better next week, but I would expect the Lions to be better as well. And I just can't see any way they don't win the series at this stage. It's I just don't think, even with those changes, I'm not sure Australia are going to be good enough to do it. So yeah, like, there's a lot to fix for both teams, but way more to fix for the Australians. There was a lot more to like in that Lions performance. And if you go back to that first 42 minutes, I thought it was very, very impressive. And yeah, it was a bit profligate, but it was dominant. It was just the dominance of every moment in collision. Even they just didn't give the Australians an into the game for 40 minutes, and by the time the Australians got into the game, it was pretty much over as a contest. So yeah, we roll on to Melbourne and see what it has to offer.
Well, Rod, thanks so much for joining us. Great to get an insight from the stadium in Brisbane, and you can go down and now give Andy Farrell a good grilling. I think he has lost the first test because you're going to be coming in with hearing all of our talking points.
I'll tie you in, Will.
Don't quote us.
Cheers,
that was all off the record.
See ya.
Talk to you later. Guys, yeah, we'll wrap up now in a minute ourselves, but just to get final thoughts as well. I don't know, are we being too negative? I'm not sure if it is honestly a symptom of us having done the watch long that we were like, maybe it was real fresh in our mind, because it was funny that Rudd had a really different perspective on that. I guess in my head I thought, look, the Lions had that game in the bag and they played so poorly in the second half that was kind of like disappointed me. I just thought they were a bit above that.
I don't think we're being overly negative. Like, I mean, we've pointed out that they were outstanding for 45 minutes. They created 3 more tries that they should have scored, and Rudd is right. The game plan that Andy Farrell would have set out worked really well, but it's an 80-minute game, and I don't think we should give allowances for the Lions at this stage of a tour when they should be way more clinical. And I go back to the point where I think a hammering was on the cards there. That's because the Lions played so well, and I think if they had hammered them, look, it wouldn't have been great for the series, but I think it would have broken the Wallabies spirit no matter what they do, no matter who they bring back next week. So that's why I'd be frustrated, and I'd be very surprised, Bernard, I know you know Andy Farrell quite well, that if we're being this critical, I think he will be internally as well.
I think as a player, look, trust your eyes, right? Like, we can see it, players can see it. This isn't a vintage Wallaby side, right? And that's why they're talking about winning the series 3-0, creating history, being the first Lions team to go unbeaten in Australia in terms of overall all the games. They know that this is a powder puff Wallabies team with potential and with the Joe Schmidt factor. We've seen that the Joe Schmidt factor hasn't been evident today. That's what we were hoping was going to give 10 points to the difference, right? So that wasn't there. So hence, you haven't covered the handicap. You've got yourself into a second half where the game isn't dead and buried. You've given them belief that next week, with a couple of changes, the game under the belt, they can be better. You don't want to give anyone belief. So I think Farrell will be disappointed, but there's also players like Finn Russell, etc., who've been around the block, and they know this is an opportunity missed to bury this series. Do I think the series will be 3-0? Yeah, I do, but I just think now the Wallabies have something to hang on to next week, which they probably shouldn't have had. Because I think the first half, while the Lions were good, look at all the entry points they got because of, like, from the kickoff, the Wallabies within 3 phases give away a penalty in their own half. Like, that's a gift you shouldn't be getting at the highest level. And the Wallabies have moved from 8th to 6th in the world rankings without doing anything. It's just other results. Like, they really are 8 maybe stroke 9th in the world. So I think as pundits we have to be expecting high levels of accuracy from the Lions. I'm glad that we won.
It's not our job to, like, because they won, to say, no, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, like it wasn't.
And
That's why I'm shocked. Rudd is usually the one who'll come in and be like.
He did, to be fair, he did admit that when you're over there, there's a bit of like, you know, I want the next 2 weeks to be worthwhile. And it was a great question from Birch to ask him what the atmosphere like, because it wasn't the bear pit. No. I mean, and it's not going to be a bear pit for the next 2 weeks.
And Cian, that makes it even more disappointing because, like, you know, it wasn't like Loftus.
Yeah.
Well, we roll on to Melbourne now. A massive thanks to Brendan and Keane for joining me today, and thank you so much to the thousands of people who joined seemingly from every corner of the world. It made it for a very enjoyable experience. All your comments were brilliant. This will be back on YouTube for you to watch. You can listen to the post-match chat on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and that's pretty much it from us. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.